Eagles. Eagles.
And welcome in, everybody, to a Tuesday edition of Birds 365 as we are set to almost wrap up the 2025 year here in another edition of Birds 365, live with you for the next couple hours. I'm joined by John McMullen, host of Birds 365. J-Mac, how you doing on this Tuesday morning after another interesting game in the NFC last night?
Yeah, man. Couple pet peeves. One, the NFC stinks. I mean, let's be honest. It stinks on ice. It really does. And it might be better than the AFC, which tells you there's no good teams in the NFL right now. Well, there's a bunch of good teams. There's no great teams. But that's number one with the LA Rams. You can't lose that game. Number two with the Atlanta Falcons. What are we doing? What are we doing in this league? They win that division easily. If they're playing Kirk Cousins, easily. And he stays healthy, obviously. That's a caveat to everything. Yeah. I mean, easily. It's the worst division in football. 8 and 9 is going to win it, probably. But he's not going to win the Super Bowl.
He's going to win the division. Oh.
But he's not going to win the Super Bowl. Well, you got to try Michael Penix. You got to. And they paid him whatever they paid him, $100 million to come there. That's not good enough to win the division. These are Ricky Bobby rules. If you don't, you're not in a position to win the Super Bowl, so you throw a whole season out with these garbage quarterbacks. I got a lot of pet peeves today. We need a pet peeve only. It drives me insane. They win that division easily. And again, you start thinking about wasting players, wasting Bijan Robinson. People talk about it here, but the Eagles win. Imagine if you don't win. Like, how good is Bijan Robinson? How many people know that?
He's probably the best back in the league this year, easily.
Well, I think it's Gibbs, but whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think has Bijan had a better year statistically?
Yeah. I mean, he leads the NFL in all-purpose yards from scrimmage.
I'm fine with you talent-wise going Gibbs because that dude's unbelievable too. Yeah. Both of them are really incredible.
And different setups, and Montgomery's got to get involved and all that stuff. But either way, they're both great. Yeah, it's just I think Gibbs is the most difficult matchup, but they're both great. I mean, you're winning that division in a walk if you just have competency at the quarterback position. But that's not good enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they got to try and prepare for the future. I don't know. I just don't understand why they paid Kirk when they did. But it is what it is, John. They win the game last night. What'd you make of the Rams? I mean, there's a good chance the Rams are the wild card round, matchup.
Well, they're definitely a wild card team. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're either going to be 5 or 6, and the Eagles are either going to be 2 or 3. So they could end up matching versus the Rams. The loss last night makes that a little bit more likely. What did you make of the Rams last night, man? They're not, boy, as good as they were earlier in the year. They might be sputtering a little bit here as we get ready for the playoffs.
Well, not might be. I mean, I guess from their perspective, all the advanced numbers say the Rams are the best team in football. Advanced statistical numbers, DVOA, EPA, blah, blah, blah. Say they're the best team in football. And all of a sudden they can't win games. Maybe it's as simple as not having Devontae Adams. Maybe he gets back to the playoffs. He looked completely healthy yesterday. They're being cautious with him. Maybe that is the linchpin that makes them the best team again. But, I mean, they're not that good. Again, call a short guy at the circus. They are the best team, but they haven't been able to lock things down, obviously, in the West. And from the Eagles' perspective, you could start playing that game. Well, you'd like to avoid them, yada, yada, yada. But I don't think you can approach it that way. I mean, eventually, if they are the best team, you're going to have to beat them somewhere. So whether that's first round of the NFC Championship, however it shakes out, You got to beat them, just like last year. It was the toughest matchup. You can talk about the NFC Championship game. You can talk about the Super Bowl and their bigger deals, but their toughest game was the Rams in the divisional round. So that part of it, I mean, if you got to beat them then, you got to beat them then. But I think you've heard a lot about their shift from 11 personnel to 13. Look, I don't care how good you are with 13 playing 3. You're not explosive. You're just making it harder for yourself. Now, when Devontae Adams comes back, they don't have to do that as much, and presumably they'll get better. But you certainly shouldn't be fearful of them. I will say that,
especially coming to Philly. I mean, if they're coming to Philly, that's a different ballgame.
Yeah, and you saw yesterday with Bijan. I mean, they're a lot better. That was their Achilles heel last year with Saquon.
Right, stopping the run.
Yeah. Now they're a lot better this year, and Landman's a heck of a lot better than Roseboom in the middle of that defense. But they're still
those names sound like they're out of a book or something.
Well, so does Saquon and Bijan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Roseboom and
Landman and Roseboom. Yeah. Landman's a CBS Paramount show, a Tyler Sheridan show.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've never watched it, but I've seen the show that's out there.
Yeah. But he's a lot better. But they gave I think he had 195 yards. Now one of them was 93-yard touchdown, but they're susceptible. That was the problem last year. They're susceptible to giving up the big run. So yeah, I mean, boy, that Puka Nacua catch, man. Whew. And I call it a catch because it's a catch. And that's, you and I were talking before. The NFL is just so stupid. They are so stupid. Now, for fans complaining about it, I will say this. They've called that slight bobble on the back end very consistently this year, to the point that when it happened in the Eagles game with Devontae Smith, I said, that's not a catch. It is a catch, but it's not a catch by their definition. And they overturned it. They're very consistent. They've been very consistent.
Which you want them to be. You do want them to be consistent.
You do.
Yeah.
But this is a league that wants offense, and they're struggling to get offense this year as defenses have caught up. This is a league that is supposed to be an entertainment vehicle. And I don't know for anybody, you should go online and check it out. This is one of the great catches of all time. That's how good it is. One of the great catches of all time. That is now not a catch because of your stupidity. At the end of the day, 99 out of 100 people say, oh, he caught that football. And then there's this, by the way, one-handed, I'm watching it, drags the toes. And as he turns his body to protect himself to keep the ball, which he keeps the ball as he heads to the ground, there's the slightest movement of the ball. I can't even call it a bobble. The slightest movement of the ball. And they look at that and say he doesn't have complete control on the way to the ground. That is, again, that's an NFL films play that's played for 50, 100 years, as long as we're a society. They'll go back to that play. It's like the OBJ catch. It's like the Jefferson catch against Buffalo. It's that type of catch. No more. Throw it on the cutting room floor. It's not a catch.
I don't know why the NFL does that, man. They as you said, they legislate for offense, and then they take away some of the best offensive plays. It is what it is, John. I like that pet peeve. That you had a couple pet peeves to start the show today, Jay.
A lot. I mean, Atlanta disgusts me. It's like you're gifted because Carolina's not that good. Tampa Bay's even worse.
Oh, that division's a catastrophe.
And you have Bijan Robinson, you have Kyle Pitts playing at his level on a contract year, which, buyer beware, by the way, when he's a free agent, but he's having a great year. You finally got a pass rush with the two rookies. You carpet bombing. And let's throw Michael Penix out there. All right. And he got a $50 million quarterback or whatever the hell you paid him on the bench. And as soon as he's forced to come in, all of a sudden they have life. Oh, that's surprising. Well, that's a shocker. Guy knows how to freaking play. These teams, man. But there's a limitation. There's a limitation to the upside. So again, it's Ricky Bobby rules. Well, we can't win the Super Bowl, so we have to try this guy who's incompetent, basically. And I'm being a little harsh. He's not that bad, but he's a legitimate
No, I
starter.
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And the hope is, well, maybe he'll develop. Maybe he'll develop. That's really their hope, Maybe he'll develop. I'm not going to do anything to do that. So it's basically on him. And part of that is the system again that they've set up. You can't work with these guys. You can't do things. You can't practice extra with these guys. So it's basically up to him in the offseason. Does he have that mentality? Does he have that Tom Brady level mentality of work? Well, hopefully for them, he does. I have no idea. Never met the kid. I don't want to pick on him. I know they just wasted a season. I know that, but they didn't have to waste. And you don't know if you get into the playoffs, maybe your defense
this year.
Yeah. Maybe your defense has a great year and you can win a different way. Get to the freaking dance, man.
Speaking of the dance, John, it's starting to look good for the Eagles, man. Nick Sirianni spoke yesterday. J-Mac, I saw your tweet that based on what Nick said, he didn't explicitly say one way or the other, but you get the feeling that starters will be rested in Week 18. Is that what you're thinking right now, J-Mac? And what did you hear from Nick yesterday that made you tweet that out?
He emphasized 2023, which was obviously the collapse season. But for people that don't remember, going into Week 18, the Eagles had a chance to still win the NFC East. Now, Dallas would have to lose at home, I believe, to Washington, who was a terrible team. And the Cowboys were really good that year, 12, 13 wins. And it was 21-0 by halftime. They won 38-10. So it was pretty clear early on. And the Eagles are playing the Giants up at MetLife in that crappy stadium. And AJ gets hurt and Reed gets hurt. And by the time they pulled guys, and they pulled guys pretty early, AJ was already hurt and was unable to play in the next week. Reed was unable to play the next week. Lane didn't play in that game. And the rest is history. They got blown out. But I think that's very cognizant. They're very cognizant of that. And then also pointed out the 2 times they got to the Super Bowl, they had a bye. Now, the first time they were the number 1 seed, so it's built in. But the second time they kind of worked it, manipulated it. And, that's why I tweeted out It certainly seemed he was hinting at, we're going to rest our guys. Now, things changed. I think everybody assumed the Rams would win. Maybe you want to play that game. Maybe you don't want to be matched up with the Rams. There's no maybe. I mean, you'd prefer to play the Packers. And if you're the number 2 seed, you're playing the Packers. So maybe it becomes, after last night, it shifts the thinking. We shall see, to be determined. I'm of the mentality that, you got to beat them at some point, as I said. So
yeah, but I agree with that. But at the end of the day, remember last year we never had to play the Lions. Like, I'd rather put 37-year-old Matthew Stafford through the gauntlet of the playoffs and let him go through that, and then have to play Philly. But
I agree. I agree with all that. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to manipulate and I'm not going to manipulate my plan just to avoid the Rams, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And, just because I believe it doesn't mean, he might be trying to fool us, Nick, with competitive advantage, but certainly the 2 seed's better than the 3 seed. I mean, it's obvious. You'd prefer to have it. Chicago is not a lock to beat Detroit. Again, I get it
better though. I think they're a legit team going into the playoffs. I mean, remember that's a team that ran for 281 on us, and now their passing game is starting to come along. I think they're a solid team in the playoffs, actually.
Well, I mean,
they don't have the.
I know a lot of people are going to look at the Sunday night game and say, "Oh, that's pretty impressive." Again, games have personalities, and yes, it was a pretty impressive offensive performance, but on the other side is pretty dismal defensive performance. So, and I'm not too worried that whatever that score was, 42-38, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned about the Eagles giving up 38 points.
No, they're not. But the thing with the Eagles, I mean, because I agree, playoff football, I mean, you need defense, but the Eagles haven't really taken advantage of bad defenses this year. So I don't know how many points, like just because you're playing a bad defense, does that mean the Eagles are going to put up 30? I don't.
No, but they're not going to get, then it becomes the shootout against Philadelphia is like 28-24 or whatever.
Well, the thing I like about the Eagles is that they dictate the personalities of games because of their defense, which is a great thing, obviously.
Yeah, and they let defenses dictate to them offensively.
Yeah, but overall in the game, I mean, I think they do manage that part of it overall.
But yeah, I mean, look, I'm not fearful of Chicago. I'm just not. I mean, I think they have to go through a step. I give them credit, but I think they don't know how to win. They got a bunch of players who haven't done it before. Playoffs are different. Maybe guys on the defense, maybe TJ Edwards and CJ can impart some of that on the defensive side. Offensively, you got a bunch of guys. You got and DeAndre on the offense. They got a bunch of ex-Eagles, but other than that, Caleb, second-year player, first time. Kyle Monungai's a rookie. Burden's a rookie. If Adunze comes back, he's never been involved. Now the offensive, even guys,
actually almost been better without Adunze, weirdly.
Well, yeah, because Burden's played so well.
Burden's played well, and Caleb's spreading the ball around. I mean, Loveland's
the tight ends are starting, and Loveland's a rookie. They have good. Cole Kmet's a good tight end.
I agree. It doesn't look like they're ready yet. I mean, but you have seen quarterbacks in year 2 make a run before. I remember Jalen Hurts year 2 starting. He walked his way right to the Super Bowl. So we'll see. I think they are a good team, and I really like Ben Johnson. I think he's a great coach. I really do.
I think he's a great.
I think he handled the other part of it well too. I mean, I know you always talk about the other part of the job. I know it's a small sample size, only 1 year so far, but I think he's managed the other parts of the games pretty well for a guy who's known for his offensive play calling and his schematics. I think he's done pretty well at that.
Well, I think he's a great. And more than great, he's a sexy play designer and schemer. I mean, people are drawn to him because of the tricks and that shit. And again, that cost him in Detroit last year.
I don't know. That's the part of him I actually don't like. I wish sometimes he would just keep it to the main offense.
Exactly. So I mean, there's a give and take to that. The reason he's so popular is because of that stuff, and bit him in the ass last year. Did he learn from it? We're going to see.
Yeah. Caleb's coming too. I mean, Caleb's taking a step forward. There's no doubt about that. So it's going to be an interesting one. John, I was thinking about this with the Eagles too, and I'm guilty of this. There's no doubt. And this team has been – there have been moments where it's been ugly this year. But, I mean, you come in this year, John, after winning the Super Bowl last year. They had a first-place schedule this year. They had no back-to-back home games. They had 5 or 6 short weeks. They had 6 primetime games, and they played, I think, what did they play? 10 or 11 playoff teams from last year. and they could finish the season 12-5.
They stink. They stink.
This has been a pretty successful season. I don't know what to make of the offense. It's obviously not great, but I mean, all things considered, that's a pretty impressive run that this team is on, and that's why I think everybody should have some confidence going into the postseason.
They stink, and the coaches are bozos. No, yeah, it is very, and you see how hard it is to win in the league. I mean, think about it. Oh, the Rams. Well, the Eagles are right there, same record. How many Detroit's not in the playoffs? Minnesota, 15 wins, not in the playoffs. Minnesota, 14 wins, not in the playoffs.
Yep.
Different reasons. Detroit just injuries and upheaval, panic, I would argue. Changing play callers, part of it. Minnesota, bad personnel decisions, to say the least.
Which you call
but it's all part of it. You got to have all these parts working in concert to win consistently. It's just really hard to win consistently in this league. And when teams do it like Kansas City, like Buffalo on the AFC side, and it's been, the Eagles on the NFC side, it's impressive, and people should recognize that. But, there's nothing wrong with raising the expectations, and the Eagles have certainly done that. And they hold themselves up to high expectations as well, which is a good thing. But, yeah, when you go into Buffalo in December, and it's still Buffalo with Josh Allen, and you come out with a win, just again, they've won double digits for 7 consecutive years, even more than the Eagles in the Josh Allen era. So that's a big win when they're trying to win the game, and they're trying to win the game. That's a big win. No matter how it looks, and it looked pretty ugly. Now, a lot of that contributed to it. The weather, the offense, but it's a signature win. And as you mentioned, all right, you can look at all these teams and you can poke holes in all these teams, all these playoff teams, including the Eagles. The Eagles aren't nearly as good as they were last year. I think we could all agree with that. I'm sure there's some drinking the Kool-Aid that, no, the defense is better. It's not. It's very good, but it's not. The offense is probably closer to last year's offense, to be honest, but it's not as good because of the running game.
Yeah, right.
So they're not as good either. But as you mentioned, 10 playoff, that they're like 8-2. I mean, at some point, you got to say, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm starting to say is, as much as a better offense is desired by many, me included, do they even need it? I mean, you just go to Buffalo. That's what I was saying yesterday on the afternoon show. People are like, oh, they're going to be one and done with that offense. I'm like, you just went to Buffalo and had 0 completions in the second half and still won. We're one of the best teams in the NFL and one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, they can beat anybody, even with this offense, if they don't get going. Now, it'd be nice, obviously, to get the offense going, and the margin is small right now, but the margin's normally small in the NFL. That's normal.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, last year, they won the Super Bowl. They scored some points, obviously, points per game. The efficiency was better, but it's all tied to the running game. Last year, they averaged 179 rushing yards per game, 179 per game. This year, it's 119. So the total numbers are 367 last year, 312 this year. Well, if they had the same rushing yards, they're right there. Same team. Same exact team. Same exact team offensively. Same issues, inconsistency in the passing game. You have these ugly, they had 7 of them last year. They had a bunch of them this year. I'm not saying that's good, but basically the same team. They can't run the football like they ran last year. That's the difference between last year's offense and this year's offense. And the offensive line, by the way, watching that game, they were brutal, the interior of the offensive line. Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Tyler Steen.
They were bad.
Brutal.
They were
Brutal.
I don't know what's going on with Cam, man. He keeps getting worse.
Getting beaten one-on-ones against not a very good defense, by the way. You know, God forbid if Ed Oliver was healthy. Boy, he would have had a field day.
Yeah, it almost seems like it doesn't matter who's on the defensive line of the other team. They're beating Cam Jurgens.
I mean, Landon can't move, man. Can't move.
Cam too, though, man. John, some of the clips of Cam are crazy. I mean, one play he didn't even get a hand on someone. Guy, he snaps the ball, looks up, and the guy's 2 steps past him.
Yeah. The one play was everybody we whiffed. I mean,
he had a couple of those though in the game.
You know, people whiff. It is comical that he made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean that's just, if there's ever an indictment for the Pro Bowl voting, there it is.
I like what Vic Fangio said. Get a committee because it does matter for these players.
Yeah. Boy, if the offensive line plays like that, they're going to have problems. I mean,
you know what I'm saying though, with like why I think that even if they have the problems, they could still win games. I get it. The defense is going to get worn out.
Well, yeah, it's pretty impressive that they're able to win games.
If you can win in Buffalo late in December, with 13 points on the board and 0 completions and 16 yards and a half of football, I mean, shit, you can beat anybody. Now, that's not no guarantee they will. They could win or they could lose. That's every game. But shit, man. I'm having a hard time lose.
They had 8 dropbacks in the second half. That's it, because they couldn't get a first down. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball. They couldn't do anything. They had 8 dropbacks. 1 was a sack and 4 were throwaways.
Yep.
They had 3 legitimate targets. 2 of them were to Devontae Smith, which were basically, he's throwing it up to him. On the third, which was the catch he should have made and did make, but they overturned because the NFL's stupid. And then the one at the end, which was basically a back shoulder 50-50. And he had a chance to catch it. And I forget the other one. I forget the third one. That's a half of football. You got 3 legitimate dropbacks. Now, I know everybody wants to blame KP, and that's fine. And, I do think when you're struggling to that degree, even though I hate it, throw a bubble screen, throw a screen, give him a layup, give him some confidence, get some tempo, get a first down. And then maybe things start to click a little bit. And I think that's where I would start with the coaches. You got to do a better job of manufacturing a first down and hoping. Then some tempo. Then you can go tempo, which Jalen excels at. But here's what also bothered me. They're coming off a game, and again, it's largely dependent on the opposing defense. But you can dictate as an offense if you want to. They got all these condensed sets. A week after spreading things out and gashing the.
I know they wanted to win that game, but do you think they bottled some of it up? I mean, they had this great thing going the previous couple weeks, John, with the empty backfield, with the 5 wide and all that. They didn't do it once. So I was wondering, did they try and be ultra vanilla? I don't know. I mean, maybe not. But.
Well, part of it, I assume, and I'm going to talk to Kevin today, but part of it, I assume, was the weather. part of it was, I assume they thought they could run the football against a bad running team, and they did. I mean, it makes sense. On paper, coming into the game, they're terrible against the run. The Eagles had started to run the ball efficiently against, granted, bad opponents, but opponents nonetheless in Las Vegas and Washington. So I get the mentality coming into the game, but when it's not working and they're selling out to stop the run and guys aren't blocking, then you got to shift a little bit. So that would be my biggest criticism of the coaching staff. But what I say all the time is, and you probably heard me say this a million times, Zander, if you can't fucking block people, you can't play offense. And they couldn't block people, which is, that hasn't happened for a very long time in Philadelphia. Now, similar to the Rams, getting Lane Johnson back, presumably, if he's coming back, is going to help.
You do think he's coming back, right?
Yes. But I think it's fair to put that caveat because, Schefter's out there every week manufacturing the Sunday bullshit. Oh, he's going to be back in practice. Ian, by the way, that's the grift. You guys should figure that out. And he hasn't been back, so you at least have to put that in people's minds. And when he does come back, presumably for the first game of the playoffs, he's going to be out for how many weeks? There's going to be some rust, but still, he's going to be better than Fred. And as poorly as Cam and Landon have played compared to their reputations, those were really bad games for them. That Buffalo game was really bad for them specifically. So you presume they're going to play at least a little bit better. And the same thing with Tyler Steen. That was one of his worst games. So you presume he's going to play a little bit better. And then maybe things take care of itself, similar with the Rams and Devontae Adams. Maybe he comes back and everything's back to normal and they turn back into the Rams, potentially. So that's got to be your hope with the Eagles. But if you can't block people, you can't play offense. You can do some different things, and the coaches should have done some different things. But if you keep whiffing blocks, it's not going to look good. And that was a poor performance by the Eagles offensive line, which is how many years have we done this show? How many times have I come on and said that? I mean, that is usually the biggest strength they have. And all of a sudden, it's turned into a weakness, specifically in the run blocking aspect of it. Pass blocking's been okay. The run blocking has been
brutal,
awful.
Yeah. Nothing. No doubt about it, John. Interesting year this year, though, man. The Eagles can still do what they need to do. It feels weird to say because I know it's been ugly at times, but it's all setting up for the Eagles in the postseason. Let's see if they're able to make a run. We got Jeff Kerr in the green room who's set to join us right now here on Birds 365. Let's bring Jeff in. We're used to getting Jeff on a Monday. We get him on a Tuesday. Jeff, how you doing, man? Hope your Christmas was good. Hope you enjoyed Week 17 in the NFL. How you doing this morning, brother?
Good. You know what? I thought Week 17 kind of sucked until the last two Sunday games. I thought the Eagles standalone Sunday game was really good, and I thought the Bears 49ers standalone Sunday game was really good.
Well, the Eagles weren't standalone. There was another bullshit game.
Well, yeah, but it was like that. It was like the Chiefs game in Week 2, that national. Yeah, I know where you're going with that. Yeah. By the way, I did watch some of that Giants-Raiders game. Woof.
Yeah, well. And by the way, what the Giants lose the number one pick. Everybody's so and content on being losers in the modern society. It's like, what are they going to do? Draft another quarterback? They're not drafting a quarterback. Now,
Yeah,
I guess you can manipulate it and trade it, but
I was going to defend the Giants on Sunday and say they don't need a quarterback anyway. I think they got their quarterback.
So do I. Well, Vic does. I'll trust Vic on that.
I think Vic is more based on he's got the legs right now, so he's tough to deal with. I don't know if that guy's good long term.
Well, I think he might get hurt, but I'm not.
No, I don't think if the stuff after, if the breakdowns of the plays don't stop working, does he have the skill set and the talent to do what you need, to win as a quarterback?
Well, I don't know, but there's a kid from Indiana.
I'm not
I don't freaking know.
I mean, he's a little bit more pro style.
I'm not terribly high on him. We'll see how it works, but I don't think he belongs as the number one pick in the draft. It doesn't look like a
great quarterback draft right now.
No.
Yeah.
But he's going to go number one. And I'm of the belief of I'm not taking these guys anymore at number one. If they don't deserve to be there, I'm not taking them.
Yeah, but the problem you have there, John, is that the 2024 drafts happen, and then teams see that and they get all high. I mean, there was how many starting quarterbacks were taken in 2024? Now it's early; it's too early to tell. But Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, I mean, all these guys.
Well, to me, it's pretty evident of the difference between, and I can say that because I said it at the time. People can check. I mean, the talent level of Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels specifically, off the charts, off the freaking charts. You're not going to hear comparisons to those guys with the kid from Indiana. You're just not.
And the guy that was picked third is probably going to be the MVP this year.
Yeah.
He's good too.
And then you started with the bullshit and the Penix and the McCarthys and the even the Bo Nixes, which has worked out, which are guys getting pushed up the board. What I mean by bullshit, they don't deserve to be where they are, but they're quarterbacks, so they get pushed up the board. Any year, Williams, Daniels, May going to be at the top of the draft. Any year, put them in any year, they're going to be at the top of the draft. That's not the case this year. Not the case last year. Cam Ward's the number one pick in the draft. Really?
It's not
what
too good.
Doing? What are we doing with these teams? Oh, we need a quarterback. We have the top pick. Let's take the best quarterback. He's definitely not the best quarterback. Obviously, is Tyler Shock, at least early on.
Yeah. He didn't look too great on Sunday, though. Oh no, he did. Never mind. Scratch that.
And it hasn't been a great early draft, I would say, as a whole for impact guys. The impact guys are later. Your guy Abdul Carter's played pretty well. He just hasn't gotten sacks.
I was going to say that. I thought Abdul Carter was still the best player in the draft, and you're right. Hasn't gotten the sacks. He's gotten a lot of pressures. He's made the news for stupid stuff, but he's always done stupid stuff.
Yeah, well, he's got to get more mature. There's no doubt about that.
Will Campbell's little short T-Rex arms are working out for him.
And Will Campbell's pretty – Patriots hit a home run with their last 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, Tet McMillan can't run, but he's working out.
Yeah.
Loveland's starting to look good. Your
Tyler
guy,
really
Tyler
good.
Warren's very good. Tyler Booker's very good. People don't want to hear that. But
Jahad Campbell's very good.
Yeah, Jahad Campbell, before he got benched for no reason. Very good. But yeah,
you're the one that asked Vic that why Jahad didn't play that one game.
Yeah.
That was a great answer.
Yeah. Well, we all know. I mean, there's nowhere to play him. You can't play edge, unfortunately.
No. But he can play all ball linebacker pretty well.
Yeah. And then they got Jalen Phillips, so it became moot anyway. But Jalen Phillips has been freaking great.
To me, Jalen Phillips is the MVP of this football team this year.
Great.
This defense has given up 14.5 points a game.
First in the NFL.
Yeah, I think you put that out on X.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you retweet. I think you guys used it on your post-game show that day.
Yeah, I used it. I retweeted it and talked about it. I mean, that's insane. That's why I'm like, offense be damned. I don't know. They
Yeah.
can beat anybody when you're only giving up 14 points a game.
It was so weird Sunday, too, because I'm like, well, they won like they normally do. I'm not happy about it, but they won like they normally do. And wins are wins in the NFL. You don't apologize for them.
Jeff, who's the worst matchup potential for the first round for the Eagles? You have the Niners if they lose. You could get the Rams. You could get the Seahawks. Now, let's just leave the 2 seed out of it.
No, you can't get the Seahawks now. They're out. They can either be the 1 or the 5.
Okay, so they can't finish 6 anymore?
They can't finish 6.
Because the Rams lost.
Yeah.
Right, so it's either going to be the Niners or the Rams if you're the 3 seed.
Correct, yeah.
All right, so which one of them would you rather face in the opening round if you're the Eagles?
I think the 49ers are playing better than the Rams, but I think I'd rather see the 49ers.
I think I'd rather – yeah.
Can we make this simple? How about the Eagles try to get the 2 seed and play the
Play the
Packers?
Packers. That's what you want.
That's the matchup I would want in the first round.
Yeah.
By the way, before we're going to talk about this, can I go back to the draft real quick?
Sure.
I'm going to give you the best players in the top 10. Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Ashton Genty stinks, Ted McMillan, and Colston Loveland. Those are your top players in the top 10. Here's your top players in the top 10 in the second round. Carson Swessinger, Nick
He's going to be defensive
Emenwari,
rookie of the year, by the way.
Yeah, he's balling.
Nick Emenwari,
Good.
Quinshawn Judkins,
Very good.
Travion Henderson,
Very, very good.
Luther Burden,
Who's very, very good.
Damn.
Tyler Shuck. What would you rather have?
Yeah. Second round sounds like it could have been the first round.
Anyway, that's my
I didn't think
beware.
the Eagles' second round pick was too bad this year either, till he got hurt.
Yeah, he was doing fine.
He was late second round too. Yeah. He was like 64, I think he was. It's a late second round. I think it was the last pick in the second round. So that was a good pick for sure. That's interesting though, John. I think Loveland's coming alive. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah, he's very good.
When Loveland was picked 10th, I'm like, that's still a good pick. I thought Tyler Warren was better, but I'm like, that's a really good pick by the Bears.
That Bears offense, I kind of think Loveland was a better fit.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree.
I'd rather have Warren, but
because he can do more, right?
It's because they collapsed after Daniel Jones got injured, but he was doing well. Tyler Warren, I mean, he's a big time player. But yeah, I mean, they're both good, and they have Cole Kmet too, who's really good. So they can beat you in a lot of ways. That's what happens. You wake up one day. You're shitty for a decade, and you wake up and say, oh, they got a bunch of good players because they've been picking in the top 10 for a bunch of years. Darnell Wright, that dude. By the way, Jordan Mailata turned me on to Austin Booker. I didn't even know anything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my
Austin
God.
Booker's
And I'm watching him against San Francisco, which is not the game to watch because the defense was terrible. But my God, he's not tall, but he is tall, but he's so long.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I don't want to mention, he's boy. And Mailata said he didn't even know his name. He said 94 on Chicago. And I'm like, who are you talking about in Chicago? They have Montez Sweat. Who else do they have? And he was like, no. And it was 94 and it was Austin Booker. Jordan said he is a beast to deal with.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
That defense, they are so, what's the word I'm looking for? Opportunistic. Was it 32 takeaways this year?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Kevin Byard, baby.
Yeah.
DJ Gardner-Johnson.
DJ Edwards pick 6.
Yeah. First play of the game.
Yeah.
I was like, well, the Eagles are going to rest their starters this week.
Well, and then Purdy went off after that pick.
Purdy's been going off the last couple of weeks.
Dude, Kyle Shanahan and Purdy together have been cooking this year. That's the one reason that I'd rather play a different team than the Niners. Now, if it's the Rams or the Niners, it's kind of pick your poison there. I think Eagles can beat both, but Kyle has just been so good, and I think he would limit the mistakes more to me versus Fangio defense. Like that's why I want to play the Bears or even like Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. I think that defense will get a couple takeaways from those guys. I don't know if
they won't even see Darnold until the NFC Championship game now.
I know,
even with the reseeding.
Yeah.
Boy, I mean, San Francisco just has no horses on defense.
I know, but Tom, we don't take advantage of bad defense.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about defense. The Eagles are going to, the Eagles, even if they play poorly, are going to keep it a 1-score game late. And then you got Bryce Huff and Sam Okawanu, however you say his name, chasing you. I mean, come on. I can't fear San Francisco. Kyle's great. I love Kyle. Anybody who knows that. Best play designer in football by a wide margin.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Vrabel, Kyle would probably win Coach of the Year.
Kyle's the best. Kyle's the big fan. I say it all the time. He's the big banjo of offense.
Kyle might win Coach of the Year.
Nobody copies. Nobody copies anybody more than Kyle. They all copy Kyle. Well, and he's copying his dad. Let's be honest, but he's evolved it.
Yeah, he's evolved to the modern game. He deserves a lot of credit.
Kyle's a great coach. He's got to get over that Super Bowl thing, and it's happened multiple times now.
But he can't do it with this defense. I mean, there's just no horses. There's just none.
Yeah.
That's where I think everybody is still holding judgment on the Eagles because they know the Eagles have the talent. It's not like they're missing pieces.
He's missing pieces. I would have a completely different look on the 49ers if Fred Warner was there and Nick Bosa.
That's what I mean. Like the Eagles' offense is bad, but AJ Brown's still on that team and he's healthy. So is Devontae Smith. So is Saquon.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. They can't block anybody all of a sudden.
That's the big problem. I agree. Everybody wanted to rip Jalen Hurts on Sunday. I'm like, did you see how Cam Jurgens and Tyler Steen played? That's what I'm.
Cam Jurgens was pitiful in that game, man. Cam Jurgens has been terrible.
And he's a Pro Bowler somehow.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Yeah, it's an issue. And throw Landon in there as well. He's not the same. So when people talk about the talent, they say, well, 3-time Pro Bowl left guard. Well, he's not playing like that. Pro Bowl center. Well, he's not playing like that.
Aaron Law will even tell you he's not playing at the level he should be.
Lane Johnson's not in there. So you go from Hall of Famer to below average.
Yeah. That's a player I would not play this week no matter what. I don't care if he's 100% healthy.
Yeah, he's not playing.
They're not going to play him, I don't think.
He's not playing this week. And then, Jordan is playing okay, but not as well as he played last year. And that's the difference.
That's where I wish assistant coaches were made available during the season. I'd love to hear Jeff Stoutland's perspective on everything.
Well, I mean, he's going to talk up his guys, so it's not going to give you any revelations.
Well, it'd still be the Knicks here.
The only question to me is, it's not going to happen this year, but down in the future, can Landon Dickerson get healthy? Can Cam Jurgens get healthy? Yeah, because this is what they are physically. And part of it is they played 21 games last year, and they might play 21 games this year.
There's a good chance. By the way, John, did you happen to see on the Great X, a couple people were on a cohort of ours about how you guys ask questions to Nick Sirianni?
I did not. No.
Oh man, it's apparently if we keep slamming Sirianni with these questions, he'll eventually cave. We are state-run media to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, that used to bother me. It doesn't bother me anymore because there's two points to that. One is most people don't understand the job, and then but I shouldn't say it bothered me. It's never bothered me from people who don't know what we're doing every day, or have been trained to be in the industry. It never bothered me. But the pseudo people, it bothers me. And by pseudo people, I mean guys who don't show up, but they pretend that they cover the team. And they say, you guys aren't tough. And it's like, I'm like, well, come on down. Show us how it's done.
Yeah.
And every single one of them, when they do get it, usually it's a game credential. They sit there like a shrinking violet. I mean,
and they don't say a word to you.
Yeah. Welcome to the stage. Go ahead. Do your job.
Yeah, go be.
But have the Eagles created an environment that, whether they say it explicitly or not, does make it harder to ask maybe tough questions that would put them in tough situations?
Give me one question, and I'll ask anybody in the chat as well. Give me one question that hasn't been asked to Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman.
We have the transcript.
I'm asking if the general, in the room, if it's general that people don't want to.
The Eagles have never, ever tried to steer me in a way that I can't ask a question.
Same here.
That's fair.
Now. I've said I've expressed frustration with Nick on here that is specifically with Nick not answering questions, which I think does a disservice to his team and the fan base and everybody else. But that's his belief. He's the head coach. That's his.
And I think the fans are frustrated because that's where I think they're like trying to get an answer, and they know we can at least try to get an answer out of him. But I think a lot of them understand too. No, this is how he is, and
I don't think it's about you guys. I think Nick is.
Yeah.
Nick
who they attack? I don't know who.
It was Zach Berman.
Oh my God! Really, Zach?
Who gave the most professional answers? Like he would say back, "Well, what do you want me to ask him?" Just. That's kind of
and then they always ask something. Then they always say stupid. You should ask them why Kevin Patullo's so stupid. I'm like,
yeah, that's what we should ask him.
Yeah, it's a professional environment where you're supposed to show decorum. Now, I don't think there's any question that we haven't asked Kevin Patullo that should have been asked. Now, from Nick's standpoint, I admit I don't ask about injuries anymore because I don't want to waste my time.
There's no reason to.
Now, that bothers me from the standpoint of you could argue he's beaten me down to that position, but it's a complete waste of time.
That's where I really miss Andy Reid because he would give you the injuries before you could even ask the injuries. Oh, you'll see a practice today. Hey, come on.
And then you go into the locker room and you try to get it a different way. And some guys are very honest. Last year, Mekhi Becton basically showed me his x-rays. I'm joking, but he did. Very honest about his injuries. And certain guys are very honest.
Brett Johnson's very honest about it.
Went up to Charlie Hewlett. By the way, the Eagles waived Charlie Hewlett.
Yeah, why did they do that? I forgot to ask you.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you that too.
Is that roster management?
That's roster management. Evidently, I asked about it yesterday. They don't want it. Obviously, they're going to have a long snapper. Now, there's this time of year, there's a little bit of risk because even veteran guys have to go through waivers, so somebody could dick the Eagles and claim them.
Washington.
I don't think that's going to happen. But even if it does, then you can get somebody up to. You can, Cal Amonitis is on the Pittsburgh practice squad. You can bring him back up the Pittsburgh practice squad. It's not a huge gamble. My guess is they want to activate somebody so they can practice. Maybe Cam Williams. They got till Wednesday, I think, to make a decision on Cameron Williams on his practice window. So, yeah, it's roster manipulation. They're going to have a long snapper, and it's probably going to be Charlie Hewlett, but we'll see how it shakes out.
The Steelers got their just dessert on Sunday, by the way.
Yeah, that's a brutal loss, man.
Aaron Rodgers did not want to be part of a photo so bad. He was getting rid of the football so fast. Anytime that guy was near him, that ball was gone. He did not want to be the quarterback Myles Garrett sacked. And Myles Garrett should have broken that record on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. Jeff, I got to ask you about the Bills game, man. What'd you make of it? Obviously, the offense, I mean, they go completely quiet, 16 yards, 0 completions in the second half. Defense, obviously, what a great performance for them. What'd you make of that Bills game, and how did it alter, if at all, your perspective on the Eagles going into the postseason?
I mean, I think that if they win the Super Bowl, it's going to be because of their defense. Now, as I say that, the offense will probably figure something out in the postseason. I hope that. That second half, I did not like the conservative play calling at all. I did not like the run blocking. I did not like the negative run. Again, the negative runs on first down hurt this team again. I didn't think they were going to get a lot of yards regardless Sunday because of the weather, because of the elements and everything at play. But look, everyone wants to blame Jalen. I can't go there. I just can't. I don't think he played well at all. But
I don't think the Bills' second half was on Jalen. I really don't.
No, I don't either. I think it was on the offensive line and the conservative play calling. I really do.
Yeah, I they only had 17 plays. They couldn't get a first down. So I got to go. I got to go offensive line first in that game. But yeah, he dropped back 8 times in the second half. 4 were throwaways. 1 was a sack. They had 3 targeted throws in a half of football. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and one of those targeted throws was an unbelievable catch that was taken off the board, which kind of shows you how bad the offense was.
Yeah. And by the way, did you see Puka's catch?
Yes.
Taken off the board.
Yeah.
What is the NFL doing?
No,
what
that
is
was
the
an
NFL
amazing
doing?
catch. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to kick a field goal.
It's one of the best catches of all time. And it's it would have been played. I told Zander, it would have been played forever on NFL films.
Yeah, it's incredible. Oh, and Stafford missed. Who was the receiver he missed the play before that he had? Wide open.
Smith.
Was it Tutu? Was it Smith or
Atwell? It wasn't Tutu. I think it was Smith.
But he had him.
Yeah.
Jesse Bates missed. Like, he just missed his assignment.
By the way, Xavier Woods, man. What a great center fielder he is.
Mm-hmm. Cowboys missed him.
He's a rookie 3rd round pick. He's one of the best defensive rookies.
Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong Xavier. That's wrong Xavier Woods. Yeah, the rookie Xavier Woods.
Isn't that his name? Yeah, because there's 2.
Yeah, there's 2. That's what I said. I got the wrong Xavier Woods in my head.
Jeff mixed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's his name, right? Xavier Woods?
Yeah, Xavier Woods. He was 3rd round pick this year. Yeah. Yeah, you said Xavier Woods. I'm like, wait, he's on the Rams? I'm like,
because there's the old Cowboy, the old Cowboy. I think he's on the Panthers now still.
He's on the Panthers, yeah. I got mixed up. I was thinking Panthers too when you were saying that, probably because of how the Panthers can still lose on Saturday and get in the playoffs thanks to the Falcons.
Yeah. Jeff, do you view Kevin Patullo as a problem going into the postseason?
I view the offensive line as a bigger problem than him.
So you put it more on player execution than you would on Kevin?
Yeah, I still say Patullo's biggest weakness is Nick Sirianni's biggest weakness. When they get a lead in the first half, they're playing conservative and they play with fire, and they haven't they've gotten burned this year. They gotten burned twice, but they have more wins and losses. It's still crazy to me how this quarterback has not had a completion in the second half of 2 games and they won both of them. It's nuts. It should not happen.
Although, I mean, defenses have overtaken offenses because there's been a number of these games. The Christmas Day game, they had 3. Minnesota had 3 net passing yards and won by 13 points, I believe. There's been a host of these games where are so bad offensively.
Yeah, it's like historic.
Yeah.
That's why everybody loved that Bears 49ers game. It gave them a reminder of what it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, that's not playoff football. A great game, fun to watch. That's not playoff football. But
No, playoff
No,
football
it's
I
not.
thought was Eagles Bills. Like, by the way, for the look, I'm on 50-50 on the whole Windsor QB stat thing. Please don't tell me Jalen Hurts outplayed Josh Allen on Sunday, because that's just a lie.
I don't think wins are a QB stack, Jeff.
Oh, that's fair.
They're,
Like I said, I'm
they're
50-50
not.
on.
They're not until they're an outlier. Then
Right,
it becomes. Then it becomes a deal. There's something to it when you keep winning. But
Yeah, that I agree with.
I mean, Jalen won the game on Sunday because he didn't turn the ball over. I mean, as bad as he played in the second half, there was not that turnover play that got the Bills going.
so evidently John Clark put up one of I guess it was on Hard Knocks. They had a clip of Nick hammering home ball security in one of the team meetings. 43-2 is what they are now.
Yeah.
When they win the turnover battle.
That was in the meeting. They
Yeah,
had that up.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Fun fact. One of my stats was in on that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Which one?
The one where it's not the turnover one. It was the one where if they have a lead at halftime, what their record is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder how conservative then they're going to be in the postseason. You would think pretty conservative, given that the data is in their favor that they win, 95+%.
You know what? Sean McVay had this crazy stat too at one point. I think the Rams were like, I want to say they were like 33 or 34-0 to start Sean McVay's career when they were leading at halftime.
It's possible. When you play from the lead, it's obviously much easier.
Andy Reid always had a really strong record when he led at halftime.
But here's why, and here's why Nick Sirianni's going to beat Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's worried about offensive EPA. Nick Sirianni's worried about not turning over the football. Look
at what Ben's done with Caleb's turnovers.
As archaic as that is.
It's withstood the test of time for 125 years of professional football.
As archaic as it,
I don't know why more people haven't done this earlier. Then, like, if it's that simple,
it's not simple.
People don't want to admit sometimes the quote unquote simple way is the better way.
Well, yeah. It first of all, it's not simple to accomplish it. Number one, it's very rare that teams turn over the ball as few times as the Eagles do. And you take out the one outlier in the Chargers, it's historic the way they take care of the football. Yeah. So number one,
the reason they don't turn it over a lot is because they do run a vanilla, scheme. I mean,
it is part of the reason. Yeah. Not all the reason, but it is part of the reason. And so number one, it's not as easy as it looks. Most people understand, hey, if you don't turn over the football, there's a good chance at the bare minimum you're going to be in the game. But they can't control themselves, number one, because they can't think about all the shit they get on a week-to-week basis of how bad this offense is, and they're bozos, and they're a high school offense, and they're this, and they're that. Most people wither under that. And they wither under that because they lose football games and they got to start winning football games. And their mentality is, offensive EPA. You got to be more efficient. You got to do this. You got to do that. And then all of a sudden, you're putting the football in the hand of Jameson Williams in the top, in the most high leverage moment of your NFL season.
You know what my problem with EPA is? I do like EPA as a stat. No one can explain it to you like you're 5.
Well, that's the same with passer rating.
Yeah. But at least I know the formula for it, because the ESPN one that they made that people like to say, well, no, that's QBR.
Not the real one.
I said
the one QBR,
yeah. Yeah. I said that's not the real one, and a company made that up in 2011. So take it.
Well, yeah, I mean, every stat is made up. So, Well, and I think EPA, and I used Ben Johnson on purpose because he's the one who talked about it, and everybody jumped on it because of what Ben said, and he basically said this matters more than the turnover margin now, and everybody, because he's the hot guy, everybody listened to him. So, basically, it's to explain it to a 5-year-old, and I don't know if this will explain it. It measures the impact of a play by calculating the change in a team's scoring probability before and after the play.
That's better. That's a better way to explain it than how the geniuses explain it, John.
Yeah. Now, but obviously, you're taking old data and putting it into a formula and saying, well, this is what happened in this situation in every game, and obviously, on the surface, I mean, that doesn't make sense because there's injuries, and everything, but they try to throw in as much as humanly possible, and this is the best number that they come up with. But
I always say with EPA, it's like WRC in baseball. What's considered average? That's how
exactly.
What's considered average and what isn't. And if you can tell me that, it's a good way for anybody to understand it.
Where is the Eagles' offense ranked in this metric?
Are they in the 20s?
Let me check.
I can look it up.
I mean, you would think.
I think it's higher than you would think, but it's not real high. EPA per play, and this is summer sports. I think it's up to date, but maybe you have True Media, don't you, Jeff? They're probably up to date.
I'm on True Media right now. I'm looking it up.
They are 12th. 12th in EPA per play. Now, per pass, 13th. Per rush, 20th.
EPA per play. Since week 10, they're 24th.
Well, what's the overall? Because I got 12 overall.
Well, this is since week 10. This is since week 10. Negative 0.5. Per drive.
So offensively since week 10. And
per drive, they're 9th. So.
And that's another thing, yeah.
For overall per drive, they're 16th. Per play, this is for the season, they're 17th. So they're average.
See, what summer sports has 12th, and they have 17th. Now that I need an explanation for.
Yeah, because they're all different, and again, like you said, you're on Summer Sports, I'm on True Media. There's just different numbers. I've talked to other people on other podcasts. We were trying to explain this, like, why do you have different numbers for coverage? Why? I'm like, because they do.
Well, the coverage numbers are a joke. Joke.
So you want to guess what True Media has their throw EPA for the season?
20s.
13.
Yeah, 13. Well,
Rush is the rushing is the egregious one, 21st. That should not happen.
Yeah, see, now Summer has EPA per pass at 13, so the exact same, right? You said 13?
Yeah, 13.
They have the exact same EPA per rush. They have a 20th, which is you added a 21. So at least that's closer. I don't know why.
All these numbers, man. This offense sometimes looks like dog shit. Sometimes they look all right.
What's crazy about this whole thing, Zander? The data tracker I use for True Media, the one I created, there is like
it's Tony Khan's, by the way.
I got 50 stats on here. It's nuts. Like they're 7th in the NFL in shotgun percentage.
Hey, Tony, if you're listening, tell me why Summer Sports has different numbers than you guys. I need that explanation.
Yeah. You want to guess where the Eagles are in motion percentage?
And I'll talk about AEW if you do that for me. I'm talking to Tony Khan personally.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you asking Tony Khan?
Yeah. Because I need that explanation. I need that explanation. But the bottom line is, if you use True Media, if you use Summer, their offense is better than people think it is. What the weird part of their offense is, they're incredibly efficient when they get a first down. They turn into one of the most efficient offenses in the NFL when they get a first down. In other words, when they don't go 3 and out.
Because the only thing people don't like about this offense, the explosive plays. They're 23rd in 20-plus yard plays, and they're 25th in 10-plus yard plays.
Yeah, but it's also what John's been talking about all year long. They suck on third down because they constantly live in third and long because they take negative plays so much. They're one of the worst third down offenses in pro football, I think. I'd have to double check. Let me double check for you. Make sure I'm not wrong here. Third down offense. Yeah, the Eagles are 24th in third down offense right now.
So the fan. This is where I have agreed with the fans 100% all year because I had to look it up for them. Someone mentioned to me, I'm really, really tired of the Eagles waiting until the last possible second to get to the line. There actually is a stat on that. They are dead last. When they get to the line, there are 7.6 seconds left on the play clock on average as dead last.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Even Caleb Williams is getting to the line with 20 seconds left, 18 seconds left, 17 seconds left.
That is not what you guys think it is. There's so much that goes into that.
There is. Well, it's just funny how there's a stat for it.
Enlighten me, John. I mean, enlighten everybody on it. Is it quarterback? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, well, because you were saying it's not Patullo.
Well,
third down,
because everybody says it's Patullo.
That's what I mean. Everybody says it's Patullo. So if it's not what people think, then what is it?
Yeah, it's not. That's not Kevin Patullo's stat.
No,
to me,
it is not. Number one, first of all, and tell me what the stat is, Jeff, that you gave.
With the play clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they snap the ball.
No,
or is it when they get to the line of scrimmage?
When they get to the line, there were 7.6 seconds left on the play clock on average. That's last in the NFL.
Now that's a better stat because I've heard people throw out the snaps. Now, if you watch like Matthew Stafford last night, if you watch Phillip Rivers in his 3 games, he takes it down as long as possible on purpose.
Yeah, right.
A lot of times.
It falls to 4.6 at the snap on third down, which is also last in the league.
So getting to the line of scrimmage is a better indicator than snapping the football because sometimes the guys snapping the football want it down there because
that makes sense. You're going to wait.
They want to wait as long as possible. So number one, that's a better stat, and they are last in the NFL, and they shouldn't be last in the NFL.
No,
but that is a combination, and Kevin's a part of it. That's a combination of Nick Sirianni, probably butting his head in there, to be honest. Kevin Patullo, Jalen Hurts, everybody. And, when you see it against Buffalo and all of a sudden you have these loaded boxes and you have to run into these loaded boxes because you don't have time to kill the play.
That's fourth in the league and facing loaded boxes, by the way.
That's when it becomes an issue. When you can't kill from one play to another. And I'm not, by the way, it is a big issue that they are that late. But, for people to want to say, oh, that's Kevin Patullo being indecisive.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that ain't the reason.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny, too, you mentioned that because the people who have asked or have said that to me in comments have not blamed Patullo. They're more curious of why does it take so long? And you guys have asked them that.
Yeah,
you've got
what
BS
answers. Last year with Kellen Moore, because that was
what was it? What was
it was better. Year? I mean, they were better.
It was better last year. I'll tell you what. I'll look it up.
Yeah, but it's still lower than it should be. From
it's funny though. I know he's an extreme example because of how he plays the game, but it's funny watching Phillip. It almost feels like the coaches don't even fucking tell him what to call. He just goes out there. There's barely a huddle. He makes up his mind at the line of scrimmage with 20 seconds left on the clock, and it's all in Phillip Rivers' hands.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So last year, you ready? It wasn't much better, but time-wise, it was better. Yeah. They were 29th in the league last year, but they were a full second ahead.
Yeah. They've always been bad at it. And they're either bad at it purposefully or it's not.
Third down was the biggest.
I don't see how it's any advantage to your quarterback to be bad at it purposefully. If you don't want to snap the ball till 2 seconds, that's fine.
Well,
Get to the line though. I mean, Jalen, it's harder. Yeah.
First of all, my thought is, and here's my thought, and it's just speculation, because Nick won't. He'll go, and he gave a long, involved answer of why, and he brought in all the components. But they've been consistently bad at this. And again, the term bad, people perceive it as bad. They don't perceive it as bad. What generally happens is you want to be in the quarterback's ear up till 15 seconds. That's what happens.
You mean talking in because the mic goes dead at 15
The mic goes dead at 15 seconds.
So they want to talk to him all the way up until the 15, and then Jalen has to get the play into the huddle from 15 to, let's say, 10.
Okay, guys, here is the damning stat for you.
Correct.
So the percentage of plays that the Eagles have where the quarterback snaps the ball between 1 and 5 seconds is 45.9%. That leads the National Football League. Number 2 is Pittsburgh.
Say that again.
That's where I agree with John. I don't think that's as bad of a big of a problem as getting out.
No. But the percentage of snaps that the Eagles snap the ball is between 0 seconds on the play clock and 5 is 45.9%.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
No.
Yeah, that part is fine. But the part of getting out of the huddle was 7 seconds. I mean, seriously, how is a quarterback with today's defenses, how they disguise coverages, cover 2, cover 0, cover 1, cover 3? I mean, everything.
Usually when you want these answers, you have to look to coaches.
You got this smirk on your face, man. What is it? What is it that you're not saying? What am I missing here?
Yeah. Usually when you want these answers, you have to go outside the organization to coaches who are more honest. And one of the more honest is, and I talk about it all the time, is O'Connell. And when Kirk got hurt, Kirk Cousins a couple years ago, you remember they brought in Josh Dobbs, traded him. They had to play him, basically with 1 week of practice. And he gave a long explanation, which is, I love coaches like that because they're honest, and the Eagles are not. Sorry, Bob. And he said, I'm going to be in his ear up to 15 seconds. And, he's going to call the game and tell him what to do for as long as he can have that communication.
So there's more of a lack of trust there versus Phillip. It's get to the line and you call it out. We know you're going to make the right call. 90.
Bingo.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dallas is the opposite. Funny how that works.
Well, is that fair to should they have that lack of trust, or is that fair to have that lack of trust? Should they trust? Do you think it's unfair to Jalen Hurts? I mean, I think he's taken more of this, if I'm not mistaken, more at the line of scrimmage, obviously since Kelsey retired and some of those things, but are they fair?
Well, I mean, you can look at, like, for Jeff bringing up that stat, Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers. Who do you have the top 5?
Yes. Eagles were 1. Pittsburgh's 2. Tampa 3.
I'm talking about the snap 0 to 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's the one I'm doing.
Okay.
Eagles are 1, Pittsburgh 2, Tampa 3, Miami 4, Jacksonville 5.
Yeah, it doesn't. So, again, just to clarify, not saying those are the teams that not get out of the huddle to snap, like snap it at 2 seconds.
This is actually snapping the football.
Football.
Yes.
Not the teams I would. So there's 2 reasons you don't snap the football quickly. One is the Rodgers-Rivers reason. They're trying to get information. And 2 is they probably don't know what they're seeing and they're having issues. So it can work both ways. I'm surprised, the Rams aren't up there, but the Rams go tempo a little bit. So maybe that factors into it.
The Rams are 12th.
Maybe that factors into it. Who are the other quarterbacks? Well, Kirk hasn't played.
Yeah. I'm sure Phillip would have been up there, but he only played 3 games.
Yeah, Phillips.
Yeah.
Can you do 3 games? Check Phillip Rivers.
I can actually. So the Colts are 13th already. So Phil Rivers' first start was what week? 15?
Yeah.
Well, he's played 3 games, 15, 16. Yes.
His first start was against Seattle. I think that was week 15. I'm actually genuinely sad that Phillip is not going to play. He's done playing, right? They're not going to play him anymore.
Yeah, they're going to play Riley Leonard.
Oh yeah, great.
Yeah, because they're.
Let's
I'd rather just see Phil play one more time.
Come on, man. Let us watch the old man Rivers play a couple more games. What the heck? Does anybody believe Riley Leonard is the future of the Colts?
Okay, so the Colts were 13th for the season with Phillip Rivers their 5th.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Look, again, it's different quarterbacks. Different. Some guys want to take it down. Because
so, John, the lack of trust, though, I got to go back to that. I mean, the lack of trust.
Trevor Lawrence takes it down.
Is that because they don't want him to be able to diagnose? They don't believe he can. They don't want him to change the play.
Well, I think it's got more to do with the front end than the back end. In other words, they want to talk to him as long as possible than the back end, because everybody's cut off at 15. So it's always
they want to do like you always talk about. Certain coaches want to control and dictate everything about the quarterback and what the quarterback does. You're saying the Eagles,
and I would say there's more of those than not. But a lot of it is like Nick didn't do that with Phillip.
Yeah, well, the crop of quarterbacks today is obviously much different.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is partially about trust. I mean, because Nick loves Phillip Rivers. So does Shane.
He does.
Obviously. It's not an ego thing with Nick Sirianni.
No, I don't think it is.
I'll tell you why part of the reason the Rams have been struggling on offense. They are getting the Eagles treatment.
In what way?
They have faced 44% of their offensive snaps over the last 3 weeks with 8 men in the box.
Well, they keep playing 13 fucking personnel.
Yeah, exactly. But it's funny. Teams are doing this to the Niners, but the Niners know how to combat it. It helps the Niners.
Yeah, formations though, you got to be careful. Like,
again, take the number for what it's worth. That's what I like to tell people.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction for Week 18. I think the 49ers beat the Seahawks and get the 1 seed.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They are balling right now, man. Kyle Shanahan is just cooking.
This is a big week for John's boy. This is a big week for him.
John's boy.
Because he had a big week 18
I'll tell you
last year.
John's boy won 14 games in the NFL with one team, 13 games in the NFL, maybe
first quarterback ever to do that.
That's true.
First quarterback ever to do that. But this is a big week for him.
So I'll say this: John's boy has proven he can play.
We didn't say he can't play. We just said it's a big week.
Well, it is true, and we are talking to an Eagles audience who loves to, to give Jalen a lot of credit for the win. So you're going to have to give Darnold some credit there on those wins.
Yeah.
Well, look at the team he left.
Yeah, they suck without him.
I almost had to defend Josh Allen multiple times on Sunday when I heard Eagles fans say Josh Allen's not a winner. I'm like, define winner, because the Bills have the second most wins in the NFL since 2022. Define winner.
And by the way, what was Seattle's record last year before he was there?
They had 10 wins. They're 10-7.
All right.
Yeah, they missed the playoffs with 10 wins.
They were coming. They were
pretty good.
That's when I thought they got him. I'm like, that's the move. That's the move.
I thought they won 8 or 9, but that's better. But what's that?
I think their coach has done a pretty good job there, Mike.
Oh, he's done a great job.
They had a good team before Mike McDonald took over. Mike McDonald just transformed the entire culture, and the Seahawks are a well-run organization.
The reason I want to play the Seahawks, though,
John Snyder's good.
They're a good team. The reason I want to play the Seahawks is because I think Vic Fangio is going to get Darnold. Darnold loves to throw these picks in these big games. I think you're going to get a couple takeaways from Darnold.
He sees
more so than you would get something.
It's funny. It's funny because they do take chances and they do try to stretch the field, and he will throw interceptions. He'll also throw balls in the tight windows, and be careful what you wish for.
John, you don't buy the pumpkin.
Hey, did anybody get flashbacks Sunday when Josh Allen threw that bomb to Brandon Cooks? Anybody get any flashbacks of a certain game a couple years ago against the Cowboys with Brandon Cooks?
Yeah, I thought Brandon Cooks was going to beat him. He had a good game. Brandon Cooks is a good player.
He won that game a couple years ago when Dak had the 3rd and 30.
Yeah, he's been a good player for a long time, and he keeps getting traded and moved. And now he's not what he once was, but it's kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists are out, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the list yet.
We'll give it to you. Willie Anderson, Drew Brees, no brainer. Drew Brees, Shari Evans, Larry Fitzgerald, no brainer. Frank Gore,
Phil Rivers is ineligible.
Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, no brainer. Eli Manning, get the fuck out of here. Terrell Suggs, no brainer.
Terrell Suggs is on there.
Frank Gore go in? I think Frank Gore will go in.
Frank Gore will go in at some point.
Eventually, I don't think. Adam Vinatieri, I don't agree with. Reggie Wayne, Kevin Williams, who I covered, won't go in. Hall of Famer though. He'll
Torrey Holt should be in.
Eli with the get the fuck.
Jason Witten, Darren Woodson, Marshall Yanda. There's your 15 finalists.
I like Jahari Evans. I never thought he was a Hall of Famer.
I don't think
as good as he was.
Philly guy, right?
Yeah, Philly guy. Went to Bloomsburg too.
Doesn't he do a show now?
Does he? I don't know.
I think he does. Yeah.
Here are my no-brainers: Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, and
I think
those are my complete no-brainers.
Did we put Adam Vinatieri in right away?
I don't. Terrell Suggs is sort of borderline. If you can't really be a borderline slam dunk. So I can't call him a slam dunk because I have some. He's a Hall of Famer. Get in. Oh, he's a Hall of Famer. But I'm saying slam dunk 100%. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly.
Yeah,
I think Willie Anderson does get in one of these years. He's very good.
I think all these players have a good chance to get in.
Even your boy,
some point.
Eli.
Yeah. Well, I think Eli will eventually get in, but
he's a Manning.
Yeah.
How many years do you have to get in again? What's the total amount of time?
Is it 15? Or did 20. They reduce it?
I think 20, isn't it? Until you go to the veterans.
20 years, yeah, he's going to get in.
Eric Allen was on it for a long time.
Phil, I don't know if Phil meant to do this, but I think he was genius because it's going to look a lot better for him. I mean, after you get some of these upcoming Hall of Fame quarterbacks in, it's going to be a drop-off, I think, for a couple years until, like, the Mahomeses of the world retire.
Well, whenever Stafford decides to
Stafford will be the next one. That's true. Yeah. Stafford. You think Stafford's Hall of Fame?
Yes.
I do.
I do too, but I wonder. I mean, look, remember, people hold.
If he gets one more, he's a no-brainer.
No, this is why I don't understand. Like, people hold the 500 record against Eli. Now I know Eli had a lot of picks and he had everything, but Stafford's record is what, 500?
I think the difference is Eli was so bad that back half of his career, and I mean, this wasn't like 3 years. This was 7 or 8.
The first few years, he was so bad.
Yeah, like really, he's known for 2 postseasons. Stafford was good before he got traded to the Rams.
Those two aren't on the same fucking planet.
Yeah, but don't you guys? And John, I know you're not an Eli as a Hall of Fame guy, and I get that. I do because I get what you're trying to uphold. But I look at Hall of Fames as they're the story of the sport. That's why I get pissed off about the Baseball Hall of Fame. How can you tell the story of baseball without some of the guys they've left out of the Hall of Fame? Don't you think when you have the guy of Tom Brady, the GOAT of Tom Brady, the story of Tom Brady, you have to put the guy in who beat him twice in the Super Bowl?
Fuck no. Dude, the Hall of Fame is about the best players. Now, if you want to talk about the Pro Football,
got a pretty good resume,
and the Pro Football Hall of Fame does that.
They do a great job of that.
Yeah, like you'll have Nick Foles is there for his 7 touchdown game.
His jersey is still there.
or his Pro Bowl, and they'll put like when something,
they'll put the plaque in or something.
Yeah, when something historic happens, they'll grab some
That's where
cleats
I love to rip like the Pete Rose Baseball Hall of Fame people. I'm like, oh, he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. A lot of his stuff's in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Pete Rose has more hits than anybody else who ever lived in Major League Baseball, not counting.
Major League Baseball is trying to make up for putting bad guys in for the first 70 years of their history by keeping guys out.
Well,
of
I
the next
agree
70.
with it. Baseball's stupid. You got a bunch of weirdo gatekeepers.
Yeah, they're weirdos.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should see some of the people that vote.
The weirdo gatekeepers who think they know. Oh, I know this guy did steroids, but this guy didn't. And I always say, go read the Mitchell report, which I call it the copy and paste report because he just used other people's work and put it all together. But nonetheless,
my favorite is David Ortiz is clean, but Manny Ramirez, who's in the same report he was, he's not.
But even more so because those guys are great players. 90% of the players exposed in that report were terrible.
Yeah. David Bell was one of them.
The Jason Grimsleys of the world.
Jason Grimsley was bad before he used them.
It's just such a dumb argument. I can't even have that argument with Barry Bonds is one of the best baseball players that ever lived. Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Roger Clemens,
one of the best pitchers who ever lived. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose, all-time hit king. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Period. End of sentence.
Yeah, has the MLB put on a master class in how not to manage your sport or what in the last 20 years? More than that.
Yeah. Well, in fairness to Major League Baseball, I will say this: them and the Baseball Hall of Fame don't exactly go eye to eye. Like they banned Pete Rose, but I always wonder if Pete Rose would have gotten voted in anyway.
Should be. I mean, bad guy from all in. But that's another thing.
He's a bad guy.
I'm not here to judge people's character. Are you
that's
good
how
at
I am.
baseball?
When I vote, I'm voting on their talent.
Yeah.
I'm not voting because it's look, Ty Cobb's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Cap Atson's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. We want to go down that road. I got about 100 players to sell for.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the people who actually think they know. My God,
I know.
It's ironically they're the most uneducated people on performance enhancing drugs who think they know. They know.
I've talked to players in the Phillies clubhouse day after day after day, and I couldn't tell you anything about that stuff.
I back when I used to argue with these morons before I learned better. I said, well, how many
what happened? How'd you sage up there, John?
How many home runs did Barry Bonds hit off juicers? You don't know. You don't know.
We assume a lot, but
I still say all you have to do is, and by the way, it's the simplest fix in the world. All you do is put a little asterisk. This is the steroid era of baseball.
Yeah, and everybody was upset over that. Yeah.
That's it.
I was okay with the asterisk. You want to put an asterisk next to 73 home runs? Go right ahead. You put it next to Maris for years because he played more games.
Baseball,
such a dumb
they've done so many.
But the people who don't know anything about a subject, who think they know the subject, well, so ESPN said Balco, rah, 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 rah. Shut up.
Balco. I don't even know where Balco is.
That guy just died recently, by the way.
Yeah, he did. Victor Conte. Yeah,
Victor Conte.
Here, you guys will like this super chat. Here's Dice. He says, regarding the state-run media comment, just say, Nick, why does the offense suck? You suck. KP sucks. The line sucks. Fix it. People need to get the F out of here and calm down.
Well, yeah,
John asking Nick that question on his
I think he's right in that sometimes people get a little overboard and that they think you guys are just going to walk in there and say these type of things to them. It's like that's not what that. Regardless of what a fan thinks, that's not going to be talked about or asked.
Yeah, I mean it's a professional environment.
Yeah, right.
It's supposed to be, although sometimes it isn't. But
sometimes
Have I gotten in trouble?
John's been part of that this year.
I've gotten in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not one question that hasn't been asked of the people that you're upset with. And then, I got all the transcripts and they were asked every pertinent question. And nobody, the only people afraid of asking questions down there are the people who aren't down there. Because again, it ain't easy down there to get your fucking voice heard.
You got to get your voice heard and you got to time it exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's not a place for shrinking violets, as I like to say.
Yeah, J-Mac ain't no shrinking violet, that's for sure.
Oh no, John has it down to a T. I'm telling you, he knows exactly when he's going to sit before he even goes to get that sip of water. Boom, John McMullen.
Well, no, I don't. I usually don't like to go first. Lately,
I know
they've
you
been
don't,
calling
but
on
sometimes you do go first.
Well, sometimes if I got something I have to ask, because the last thing you want to do is not get your question answered.
I feel like sometimes first question's not as good because you got to.
No, it's not. You want to get them warmed up.
Well, the worst is first questions on Zoom, and I think I've gone 3 times. And I specifically
you went first yesterday.
Yeah, I specifically go late, so I'm like 7th in line. They called on me first. I'm like, fuck, because I don't want to. Usually, it's something you have to ask.
Yeah, which is like something.
My favorite moment covering sports. It was a Phillies game. I'll never forget it. I've had athletes tell me this. If they have a bad game, just ask them what happened, and they'll give me all the information. And they did. And someone asked a different variation at the next question. He goes, "Did I just not explain it?" Oh my god! I started cracking up.
But I get a kick out of it.
I knew the gist of it though. So
to the commenter's point, yeah, I get that a lot. Like, why don't you ask them why they suck? I mean, come on,
Nick. Why do you suck?
I think it's
that would go so viral.
They just don't give good answers, but it is what it is. Who cares?
But what I get mad at is they want us to ask us that, and then when they do, they'll make an ass out of us when we ask them it, and you get that type of answer. Well, who would ask such a stupid question? Well, no, you told me to do that, right?
Yeah, right. Jeff, do you think the Eagles can make a run this year?
Of course. There's no one good.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
There's no one good in this league.
Other than Green Bay, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Chargers, because of the air issues, I think everybody's got a shot to make a run. Did I miss somebody?
No, I think you know. Green Bay, Tampa, Carolina, Chargers. That might be it.
Yeah, everybody.
Have no chance at that O-line.
No, none.
I love how the NFC South champion is basically going to be playing the 4:30 game on back-to-back Saturdays.
Wow.
The NFC South is abysmal.
Yeah.
There's a really good chance the Eagles are playing on Sunday, by the way.
Steelers. Steelers, Ravens, I guess I got to throw them in. Don't have a chance. I think the Broncos, Patriots, Jags, Texans, Bills have a chance on the AFC side. On the NFC side, Eagles, Rams are my 2 top teams, sadly. Seahawks, Niners, and even the Bears.
You want the 2 seed, boys. You want the Packers and you want that extra home game. It's a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah.
You want the 2. I can't make that crystal clear to people.
And you have to see how Wednesday comes around and what Detroit's doing.
I mean, look, whatever they decide to do is what they decide to do. But
I mean, if Detroit decides to sit Gibbs and Jamison Williams and Jared Goff,
then you make your call and you play Tanner McKee and you play Tank Bigsby and all these guys. But
and by the way, I think people will be excited by that. way too many people would be excited.
Yeah, well, I once heard this fan base want Nick Foles bench for Nate Sudfeld. So
Nate Sudfeld, the unstoppable Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Good show, man. Thanks for joining in for so long. Appreciate it, brother. We've talked about everything as we always do here with the Jeff Kerr.
We even got some Hall of Fame baseball idiots.
Even got some HOF baseball in there. All right, good stuff. Jeff, thank you, brother. Any final thoughts that you want to impart to Eagles fans before you leave?
I think I just gave it, Dan. Let's play for the 2 seed.
I like playing for the 2. I think they're going to win.
I mean, I'd love to play the Packers and have an extra home game. I think people like the point I made last week. Do you really want to pass on having a game in Philly right now? One, you don't lose in Lincoln Financial Field in the playoffs. And two, I feel like the sun is never, ever going to come out in the state of Pennsylvania till like March. So
that's true, too. Probably be windy as well.
Eagles had a lot of bad weather games.
They really have. That is not going their way.
And they've only lost one of them, I think.
Yeah, they lost the
Bears game.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you joining in for so long today. Make sure you guys follow him at Jeff Kerr, PHL. Jeff, we'll talk to you again next week, brother. Enjoy your new year, all right, man?
Yep. Happy New Year, guys. See you in 2026. See you next year.
Yeah, see you
Thanks,
year.
bud. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
There's my boy Jeff Kerr. Appreciate Jeff joining in today here on Birds 365. Good stuff. Always good to talk to Jeff Kerr. We normally do it on a Monday. We got him on a Tuesday this week. Appreciate him checking in. John, I wanted to wrap the show up today. We got about 15 minutes left. I wanted to wrap it up with this little exercise. I saw this guy do this, and I'm curious to hear how you would put it right now. Let me pull it up. All right, I got to go over to my phone. This thing's not working. So somebody I'll read to you who it was. All right, so they split up the 14 playoff teams. Or I guess right now there's technically 16 because some teams could still get in, or is that not true? No, 14.
Well, there's some, I mean,
Bucks, Panthers,
Bucks, Panthers,
Ravens, Steelers, right. So he splits. This is Sam Block. I don't know who Sam Block is, but Sam Block put this out, and he split up the playoff teams into these categories. First category is can win the Super Bowl. Second category is would surprise me. Third category is would shock me. And the fourth category is absolutely no chance. So those are the 4 categories of the playoff teams. Let's start with absolutely no chance. You've actually already given them.
Yeah, already gave them
today, but we will redo them just for this segment because I'm going to post this segment out. Absolutely no chance. John, where would you go with absolutely no chance?
Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Chargers on the AFC side. On the NFC side, Carolina, Tampa, Packers.
All right, so we got here. Let's go here. All right, so these are the playoff teams on your screen, everybody. I'll try and zoom that out a little bit so you can see it a little better. All right. So you said Pittsburgh, no chance. They're not in yet. They're in the hunt. Pittsburgh, who'd you say on the AFC? Pittsburgh Chargers?
Baltimore Chargers.
Pittsburgh, Baltimore Chargers. I agree with all 3 there. And then on the NFC side?
NFC side, I'm going Packers, Bucks, Panthers.
Packers, Bucks, Panthers. Yeah, agreed on all 3 of those. Packers just can't with their injuries this year. All right, now the next 2 are harder. Would shock me versus would surprise me. Would surprise me is obviously you feel a little bit better about those teams. Would shock me is a bigger shock. Which one do you want to start with there, John?
So it's would surprise me or would shock me?
Yeah,
is
so
that what it is?
Me, yeah, would surprise and then would shock.
Let's do would shock.
All right, so the ones that are closer to being absolutely no chance, but I guess would shock, John. Is that what we'll phrase it?
Chicago would shock me on the NFC side.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair.
49ers would shock me on the NFC side.
I'm surprised to put you in the shock. That's the surprise category for there.
defense is just atrocious.
Yeah, that's true.
On the AFC side,
I would add the Seahawks to would shock me if it were mine, but that's just me.
that's more of would surprise me than shock me.
Okay.
AFC side, everybody's so even, nothing would shock me. Nothing would shock me on the AFC side.
Broncos wouldn't.
No.
Jaguars wouldn't.
Nope.
Okay, so would surprise me then is going to be nice and long here. So would surprise me. What do you got in the would surprise me category?
Well, I think would shock and would surprise is very close.
Yeah, they are very close. It's kind of
so I would, that's what I mean. To me, the Broncos, the Patriots, the Jags, the Texans, the Bills are all basically even.
I'm putting the 49ers in the would surprise me category. I mean, they could still get the 1 seed, John. They get the
and
one.
Of all those AFC teams, the Bills would surprise me the most because I just don't think they're a good football team.
I don't either.
They would surprise me the most. But Josh Allen. Seattle would surprise me a little bit on the NFC side. Seattle on the NFC side.
All right, so I got a lot in the would surprise me category. Seahawks would shock me, to be frank, not surprise me. 49ers I have in the would surprise, not shock. What about Ken win? I got 3 teams in the Ken win.
Oh, I got a bunch. I got more than that in the AFC. I got Denver, New England, Jacksonville, Houston on the AFC side. On the NFC side, I have the Eagles and the Rams. That's it.
So
well,
you think there's a good
the Seahawks would surprise me. The Bears would shock me. The Panthers are irrelevant. The Bucs are irrelevant. The Niners would shock me. And the Packers.
Even with the 1 seed, you got the Niners in the shock category.
Well, they got to get to 1. It might be Seattle, but no, I think
that Darnold hope, J-Mac.
It's not Darnold hope, but they have a good defense, and they have a good quarterback.
By the Rams, though,
I'd rather have Darnold in that defense than Purdy in that defense, and it's more about. I mean, I do think Darnold's better than Purdy, but it's more about the defense. The difference in defense between Seattle and San Francisco, which is significant. Significant.
The only dome team in the playoffs for the NFC is the Rams, right? Yeah, everybody else is not.
Well, technically, that's not a dome, but it's dome-ish.
Dome-ish, yeah. It's dome-ish. It's real dome-ish. I would say it's more of a dome than a stadium, than an open stadium.
It's not, well, I don't know how else to describe it. It's dome-ish.
Who should Eagles fans want the win between the 49ers and the Seahawks next week?
Well, I think the 49ers, because I don't think they're as good. I think they beat the 49ers anywhere they play. The Seattle is problematic.
So then who do you think the toughest playoff matchup would be for the Eagles in the NFC?
Well, the Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
The Rams with Devontae Adams. And they showed him.
Yeah,
he looked like he could play yesterday, so he's coming back.
I'm assuming the same.
Unless he has a setback, which he did not have. So, the Rams are the most well-rounded team in the NFC.
I think the Niners win the game next week, And then it would be the Seahawks would be 5. And so you would get the Rams unless the Bears lose to the Lions. I think the Bears can lose to the Lions. I really do. That could happen.
Yeah. It wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah. So the 2 seed is good. And by the way, if the Eagles rest their starters, don't you still feel like
they're still going to beat Josh Johnson? I do. Yeah, I do think. I do think they can rest a bunch of people and still beat the Commanders.
Me too. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that game and what the Eagles end up doing. I don't think they're going to play many. I'm assuming Jalen, AJ, Devontae. Who do you think will play, John? Because you got to, like you said, you got to play somebody. You got to field a damn team. Who do you think will play?
Fred obviously has to play.
Yeah.
I think Tyler will probably play because she'll probably,
Cam and Landon head to the bench.
Oh, they're not playing.
Yeah,
Brett. So Brett Toth is going to have to play center. Jahan Dotson obviously has to play. If you consider him a starter, everybody's going to get their Philip Tanner and Tank, the Tanner and Tank show. Calcaterra. Some of the defensive linemen have to play, but I would sit Carter, obviously, Davis, and Phillips. Those are the 3 guys I would sit. Quinion and Cooper, I'm sitting. Zach, I'm sitting. Jacoby, I'm sitting. You play Jihad Campbell and Smile Munden.
John, we just keep adding players in this defense. We got to pay, dude. They got to pay Jalen Phillips now.
Yeah, well, look, one of those guys, Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt, is going to be SOL. Bottom line, shit out of luck.
Yeah, well, I think we know.
But they're going to get paid somewhere. I mean,
Jomo probably, right?
Jomo too is difficult. Jomo's difficult. You're in the same situation as Milton, but he's got 1 more year, so you don't have to worry about that immediately. Same thing with I don't think they're going to extend Nolan Smith now, so you push that back. Jalen Hunt, you still got some time. So, but eventually, got to pay Jalen Phillips. Got
it. Defense has been incredible. I mean, John, 14.5 points since they traded for that guy. They've been giving up a game. Now, I know it's, any game you can get but that's incredible. Doesn't matter how bad the offense is. If they do that in the postseason, they can win any game. That's why I want to play a turnover-prone quarterback, because the defense will get a takeaway. Defense might get a pick 6. Defense might get a touchdown themselves in one of those games.
Well, I get your thought process from that, and but I'm not picking on you. Some of the other people say the same thing, or would say the same thing. Then be careful what you wish for. Then accept the fact that the Eagles are so fucking risk averse.
Yeah.
Because it works.
Doesn't our offense just suck though? Like, can you be risk? I don't know. I guess not. I guess it all ties together. But I don't know.
Again,
you watch this game all year. You watch this team all year. Offense is pretty bad, no, John?
Well, it's not as bad as you think it is for most people. Again, who's ever EP numbers you believe, EPA numbers. Either one.
John McMullen eye test. Can I pull the metrics from that?
Well, again, my eye test is it's pretty ugly football. That's my eye test. But I can step back because I watch a lot of other teams throughout the year. Right. There's a lot of shitty offenses in this league. So contextually, is it as bad as people think it is? Not even close. Not even close. What's weird, again, is they are incredibly efficient when they get a first down, when they don't get a 3 and out. That is weird, because usually, all right, you're mediocre. I would say they have a very mediocre offense. And usually you're just mediocre. They're like really bad or really good. They're not mediocre. depending on how they're playing at the moment, they're either really good or really bad. It's very bizarre. But overall, contextually, it's not nearly as bad as people think it is. That's how I describe it. And again, because so many times, well, with this talent, they should do this, and this talent, they should do that. Earlier in the season, it was some of the skill position guys. Now you're talking about the offensive line. These guys are not playing up to their reputations. You know, I think people have started to understand that with Cam Jurgens. Poor Cam is the one taking a hit. And to a certain degree, Landon Dickerson. I think people are starting, well, he's a Pro Bowl center. Well, he's an all-pro guard. No, he's not. Not this year. Now, literally, Cam is, but trust me, he ain't making the all-pro team. They are not playing like high-level players right now. The offensive line, the interior of the offensive line. So, again, if you can't block people, it's tough to play offense. And at times, Jalen Hurts has not played up to his reputation. At times earlier in the season, A.J. Brown has not played up to his reputation. Now he is. So you can go up and down the list. Saquon Barkley not played up to his reputation. Now, there's a lot of people want to blame that on coaching and that they got the joystick. Oh, well, this guy's so good. Just put him here and it's your fault. Doesn't work that way.
We'll see what happens in the postseason. I think the Eagles are in a decent spot. We'll see what ends up happening. John, what's on the agenda for the Birds today?
Coordinator Day. So Vic will get all the flowers and Kevin will get a bunch of muck.
Yeah, he will. What are they doing tomorrow and for New Year's Day? Is there like
Good
a
question?
holiday?
No schedule out yet. Probably because they're contemplating what to do.
Yeah. Sounds like me contemplating what to do with our shows too. So we'll figure that out soon. I'll let you guys know. J-Mac, good show, brother. Your final thought here on a Tuesday edition of Birds 365.
Yeah. So I'm not going to ask Kevin why he sucks, but we will ask him all the prudent questions today if you want to tune in.
All right, John. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you doing it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Later, brother.
All right. See you guys.
All right. See you, dude. There's my boy, John McMullen, Johnny Mac. Appreciate J-Mac for doing it this morning. Good show today. Appreciate everybody being here. Don't forget to hit that like button. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. All right. It's always good. What's everybody got going on for the new year? Hope everybody has a great new year holiday. All right. I know. You know, I got comments last night on the channel. It's pretty funny reading the comments from all you knuckleheads. I love all the comments. You know, one guy yesterday commented, Zander has more green glaze than anybody I've ever heard. I'm like, what? You obviously don't listen to many people if you think I got the most green glaze than anybody else. But that's what they're saying. They're saying I got green glazed donut, everybody. That's what they're saying now. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, you can't be a real fan because you're mean to the Eagles or you're rude or whatever. You're a Jalen hater, whatever the hell they were calling me. I mean, come on. Come on. How do we go from that to that? How do we go from that to that? James Jones, that's a great question by you. Green glaze would be the hypothetical. Eagle green colored glasses. All right. Gary, I agree. This league blows. The Rams. I mean, I've been talking about the Rams all year. That team looks like that team does not look. That game last night, I'm watching that team. I'm looking at the fear in Stafford's eyes. Nah, you know. Yeah, I don't see it. Rams are folding late, Jam, and I agree. Rams might be folding late. Let's see. They will get Devontae Adams back, Keith. That's true. That is true. But going to be interesting how this playoffs go. NFL is soft. The Eagles are hitting harder than anyone. I agree. Gary, that defense is crazy good, man. Stafford doesn't want to go up. No, he doesn't. And if Jalen Carter plays like he did last week, whoo, boy, our defense is so good, man. I'm trying to get people to understand this. Most do, but so many people think I'm a nut. I'm a head case for saying we're going to win playoff games. This defense is ridiculous. And they're getting better and better and better each week. They're getting better and better each week. So I really think they can beat anybody with that defense. Yeah, that's right, Jay. Defense wins championships. All right. Defense wins championships, and that defense is humming right now. I mean, even Reed Blankenship is laying the hammer out there. Cooper DeJean, big body and offensive lineman. I mean, how about Cooper? I love that play. Cooper, it almost like happened in slow motion. The ball's on the ground, and ultimately didn't get ruled a fumble, but the ball's on the ground. It was like slow motion. Cooper looks at the offensive lineman who's about to go down the ball, and he just goes, pop. Just moves him out of the way a couple inches, and boom, falls on the ball. Pretty hilarious. So they're all stuck in the Bears game. Well, I get why, but the Bears were playing good football. I actually think the Bears are better than John's giving them credit for. Roll says, "Z, I was feeling different." Yeah, me too, Roll. Originally, when the game broke on Sunday night, and the Bears lost that game, I originally tweeted out, Roll, I'm like, the Eagles should play their starters. But you know what, dude? This game is a war of attrition, and I really feel like the Eagles can beat the Commanders with anybody. It's a different game today. Here's Rotunda. Defense wins championships. In 1987, it's a different game today, son. Well, tell that to the 2024 Eagles. Tell that to Rotunda. Tell that to the 2024 Eagles, who had 70 net passing yards in each of their first two playoff games last year. Jalen Hurts took 67 yards of sacks versus the Rams in the playoffs last year. 67 yards of sacks and threw for 120. He had about 60 net yards in that game. We won 2 playoff games with our defense last year. And you could argue that the Super Bowl was more because of the defense than anything. I mean, they didn't let Mahomes pass midfield for 10 drives. Think about that. So Rotunda, I don't agree with you. Defense is still the best way to win playoff games. Rotunda, you think the playoffs are going to look like that Bears game did on Sunday night? That's true, Roll. That's true. That was a hell of a touchdown run. I forgot about that, actually. And you're talking about in the Rams game when Jalen had the big touchdown run? That's true. Got to give him credit for that. That was a hell of a run. Yeah, that did start the game off on a great note. But outside of that, Roll, I think we can both agree it wasn't a great performance. I mean, Saquon Barkley went crazy in the game. I think he had like 205 yards, maybe it was. So, but, playoffs are a different beast. Here's double trouble. Play starters, keep an eye on the Bears score, then bench starters. Yeah, I think that's double trouble. I don't know if you heard John in the open, but they're afraid of 2023. They're afraid of what? Remember what happened in 23? They played Jalen or they played everybody. AJ got hurt. Reed Blankenship got hurt. John talked about that in the open, and then they didn't have AJ for the playoff game. See, Eduardo, that's a good one, dude. I'm having a really hard time in the AFC. Just a really hard time in the AFC. He says, Yo, Z, early prediction. Who do you got in the Super Bowl this year? Here comes my Eagle glaze. Does anybody really feel good about picking a team that's not the Eagles in the NFC? Because I don't. I did. A couple weeks ago, I did. I thought the Rams were better. I thought the Seahawks were better. I thought the Bears had a better chance. Now, the team to me that's come alive the most is the 49ers. I don't think John's giving them enough credit. I think the 49ers are playing some really good football. I mean, is anybody watching Kyle Shanahan, the way he's calling games right now, that dude fucking Kyle Shanahan is an absolute beast. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, that guy can call a game. That guy can flat out call a game. I mean, every single game, it feels like the 49ers got dudes running wide open, and they don't even have good receivers. I mean, they don't really have that many people to throw the football to. But I think the Eagles in the NFC, man, I really do. And I don't think I'm just saying that because I'm an Eagle fan. I mean, I'm looking at this NFC. You know, you're looking at a team, and I get it. Yeah, this offense has been ugly all year. There's no denying that. You know, I don't think Jalen's had his best year. I don't think the offense has played well. I think Kevin Patullo, you know, is a problem, a lot more than John will say it is. But think about it, man. You have the number one first place schedule this year. You know, you had no back-to-back home games. You had games on Thursday, on Friday, on Monday, on Saturday, on Sunday. I mean, fucking every day of the week we're out here playing games. You know, you play the Rams, you play all these great teams that we played, the Lions, the Packers, the Cowboys. I know that game was ugly, but they're going to win 12 games. You go to Buffalo late in December, you beat that team. I know the offense was ugly, but that's a tough place to play, man. Late in December, that's a freaking hard place to play. So I really feel good about the Eagles. I really do. They're battle tested. Is the offense ugly? Yes, it is. But with the defense playing like they are, we need Jalen to make the 3 to 5 plays. You know, the 3 to 5 plays that you need to make in a game on offense, to me, is what the offense needs to make. So, you know, I'm having a hard time. I know the Eagles. Look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't think the Eagles have inspired the most amount of confidence either. You know, I think last year they won games in such a commanding way that you felt better there. But looking at the outlook, or looking at the layout of the NFC playoffs, and remember, we already beat a couple of these teams. Beat the Rams, beat the Packers. Niners we didn't play. Bears we lost to. But I don't know. You think we lose to the Bears twice? I'd love for the Bears to lose this week and we get the 2 seed. If we get the 2 seed, we're going to the Super Bowl. If we get the 2 seed, we're going to the Super Bowl. Stop. I don't even want to hear it. We're going to the Super Bowl. We'd have the Packers as in the first game. Then we'd probably play who? The Rams? The Rams or the Niners? The Rams or the Niners? Jamming, that's a good word. Parody. It's parody, bro. All right, and then, Eduardo, just to go back to your question. AFC side, Texans are interesting because of their defense, but I do not like C.J. Stroud in that offense. Chargers, no chance. Bills, I like because of Josh Allen, but does anybody really think that's a Super Bowl team? That's not a Super Bowl team. Jags are interesting. They got a good defense, but I don't know. Do you trust that team to stay consistent through the playoffs? Patriots, I maybe like the most of any of them. And then you got the Broncos. I'd probably go Patriots 1 for me in the AFC. I'd probably go Patriots up there. So, boy, Patriots, Eagles, that would be a good Super Bowl, huh? That'd be that'd be the third time that happened, right? Yeah, third time that happened. Lost in 2004, beat him in 2017. Let's beat him again. Beat him again. Ravens versus Eagles? Nah, come on, Jay. Are the Ravens even going to get in? The AFC is, I mean, they have good teams, but it's so hard to tell. It's so hard to tell, man, who's going to win. Here's Roll. What's up, Roll? Appreciate everybody being here today. Z, Acho had a good take. I actually think Acho has a lot of good takes. I know he sometimes says some dumb shit, but I think Acho's overall pretty good. Jalen does what is needed. Agreed. He's not going to take unnecessary risk ever. Maybe if Allen was more like that Sunday, that game might have been different, i.e. that 30-yard sack. That 30-yard sack was brutal. Remember, Roll, the only thing I think I would add context there is Josh, I think, has to feel like he has to do more. Jalen does trust his defense. I'm not sure if Josh does. Now, he should have in that game because the Eagles' offense wasn't doing shit. But, I think Josh sometimes goes into the Superman mode because so many times he's had to be Superman, and then that forces some bad plays. But I agree with the take from Acho. I do. Roll, that's what I've been saying about Jalen right now. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and sell you that the offense has been great all year, but with the defense playing like they are, Roll, giving up 14.5 points a game since they traded for Jalen Phillips, I need Jalen to make the 3 to 5 plays. And by the way, he did versus the Bills. That throw to AJ Brown that AJ couldn't catch because he was getting mauled by the cornerback. I don't know how the fuck they didn't call that a pass interference. That was a perfect throw. That throw could not have been thrown better. If you put that throw in a machine, an AI to make a perfect throw, that's how the ball would have been thrown. It was a perfect throw. Away from the corner where only AJ could get it, walking into the end zone, over the shoulder. That ball was dropped in the bucket. That's a perfect pass. AJ couldn't catch it because the cornerback is fucking mauling him. Smitty had a couple drops. I mean, so, I trust Jalen to make the 3 to 5 plays. Yeah, Devontae dropped that perfect pass. I really like that throw to AJ, though. That was a tough throw, man. That was a good throw. Those throws are not easy. Those are not easy throws. Right away from the cornerbacks where only AJ could get it, leading them into the end zone. I mean, that was really a good throw. It was unfortunate that cornerback mauled AJ and they didn't call it because that was a touchdown. I mean, that should have been a touchdown. AJ's catching that every week. Yeah. Yeah, Roll, I think that's fair, bro. He's got a great feel for the game. Cilio, for all his criticisms of Jalen, used to say the same thing. He's very smart the way he sees his way around the football field. Doesn't mean he makes the perfect read every time. Doesn't mean he makes the perfect throw. But, he understands moments in games very well. That tight window, dude, the one that threw the two defenders, play breaks down. He's scooting around in the pocket. Piss missile. Right through the defenders. That was a great throw, too. My favorite wasn't actually the Smitty throw. My favorite throw of the day was, one, the AJ throw that he didn't catch, and there you go, Mr. Sparks. 3rd and 10, pass rush is coming. Jalen rolls out, and he throws this tight window throw to AJ Brown on the sideline. That, to me, was my favorite throw of the day. On the run, with a very tight window, running out of space. I thought Jalen threaded that over 2 defenders. That was a fucking dime. And a really tough throw. I mean, the Devontae throw was nice, but to me, it wasn't as hard of a throw just from that. He had his, he didn't really have his feet set, but boom, it was just a throw right there. Now, he threaded the needle through 2 defenders. It was a great throw. Don't get me wrong. But fucking, that was a hell of a throw to AJ. Yeah, that's right by the ear hole. Really good throw. Really good throw. Mr. Sparks, that's one of my favorite things when Brady calls a game. They lower his mic when the play-by-play is going, but you can hear him in the back. I love that when you can hear him in the background. It happened against the Eagles once earlier this year. If you remember the punt return that we fumbled, what was that guy's name? Gibson or Tyke? What was it? What was that guy's name? Fucking, I'm blanking on his name. The punt returner who fumbled it at the 8-yard line earlier this year. The hell was that guy's name? Gibson, right? Was it Gibson? I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. But when he got lit up, you can hear Brady in the background. He's like, oh! Brady's such a football guy. Yeah, Gibson. Who cares what his name is? Good call, Gary. Yeah, you can hear Brady in the background, just like, oh, I love Brady, man. Brady's classic. He really is. So, yeah, thank you, Xavier Gibson. I don't know why I forgot it, Double Trouble. Yeah, that's right, JB3. Perfect. Another good one. Saquon in the first game versus Commanders in the playoffs last year. That's great. 2 words, roll Tide. Morty, I think we're beating Indiana. Morty, I sense a coach that's got a little bit of confidence, a little bit too much confidence. All right, everybody's been blowing him the last couple of weeks, and that's going right to his head. And I think a team that's not nearly as battle-tested. I mean, you look at Bama, they might have more losses, but some of the guys that they've played, I mean, holy shit. I mean, Tennessee, Georgia, Oklahoma. Bama's going to win that football game. Fuck the Hoosiers, Todd. I don't have any hatred in my heart toward Indiana, but this week I do. Fuck the Hoosiers. Monday's firing. That's right. Black Monday. Ooh, that's a good topic. Who's going to get fired? Dable's already fired. I think Pete Carroll should get fired. Jonathan Gannon should get fired. If I were the Commanders, I'd probably cut my losses on Dan Quinn. I don't think he's going anywhere. Titans already fired their coach. The Browns should fire Stefanski. I don't think he's handling that team well. Saints, obviously not. Falcons, I doubt it. Chiefs, no. Bengals, I think they should consider it, but they won't. Cowboys, no. Lions, no. Dolphins probably should, but they won't because they've come back alive. Steichen, no. Kevin O'Connell, no. Bucks, maybe. Ravens, maybe. Probably not. Maybe, though. Panthers, no. Steelers, probably not. With Tomlin, no. And then obviously no playoff teams. I don't think any of playoff teams. Any playoff teams that's totally let down this year that I think Kyle, by the way, I think Kyle Shanahan should be coach of the year. I do. I know Vrabel's had a good year. He has. What Kyle Shanahan has done with that team and that offense, I mean, dude, they put up 40-something last week on the Bears. And I know it's not playoff football, but they had no George Kittle. I mean, he's out there throwing. Who's Purdy throwing to in these games? I mean, seriously. Who's he throwing to in these games? Ricky Pearsall? Jake Tonjes or whatever the hell his name is? Jawan Jennings? Demarcus Robinson? I mean, I think Kyle Shanahan is just coaching up a masterclass. I do think it's going to end up being Vrabel. I do. I like Ben Johnson too, riding the bench, but apparently he's not even in the running. Yeah, Twiz, doesn't sound like a very good group to me, does it? Tonjes, Pearsall, and Jennings? I know he throws to McCaffrey too. Big Mike, I know they got a curtain, but we don't take advantage of bad defenses. That's one thing we have to come to grips with, all right, with this team. All right? I know our defense is great, but when we play a team that has a bad defense, to me, it's not that big of an advantage because we don't take advantage of it. The Bears defense blows. We scored 15 points versus them. The Bills' running defense is terrible. We ran 60 yards against them. So we don't take advantage of bad defenses. To me, I'm looking at the offensive matchup versus our defense. That's why I think the Seahawks are the best matchup for us. You know, we're probably not going to get them, but I think they're a great matchup for us because I don't care about their good defense. And I think Fangio is going to have Darnold in hell. I do. I think you get a play caller like Ben, a play caller like Shanahan, a play caller like McVay. You know, they're not going to have great offenses versus our defense either, but I think they're less susceptible to the big mistakes that a team could make, you know, versus our defense. Dude, we all know if we play the Seahawks, we're good for 2 takeaways. And nobody can sell me otherwise. Yeah, couldn't take advantage of the Cowboys. We don't take advantage of bad defenses, which whatever. I'm over it. I don't care anymore. I told you guys this. We're not going to win the Super Bowl because of our offense. Philly doesn't exploit bad Ds 100%, Rotunda. Yeah, that's what bad defenses do look at us and say that's a get-right game. I guarantee you the Bills' defense is feeling themselves after that game versus the Eagles. 5 straight punts in the second half, 4 straight 3-and-outs to end the game. And the one drive they didn't have a 3-and-out, they had 5 total plays. Congratulations. You got a first down and then you went 3-and-out. I mean, come on. So I don't really like when people use the matchup of, hey, their defense blows, so we're going to be good at I'm more looking at offensive matchups, you know? Offensive matchups to me, like looking at the playoff picture. Let's load back up the playoff picture. You know, here it is. Loading back up the playoff picture. Seahawks, I think, are a great matchup. Bears, I actually think are a better matchup than they were in the regular season because, you know, it's playoff mode. Caleb's never been in the playoffs. You know, what kind of pressure does he feel to make the throws? You know, one of the things that Ben Johnson has done with Caleb this year is not only made him better, you know, at playing the position, but he's totally limited his turnovers this year. I mean, we give Jalen a lot of credit for no turnovers. Caleb's been similar this year, all right? He had a bunch of turnovers last year. He only has, I think, 6 this year. So he's totally lessened that. Throws the ball away a little bit more. You know, he wasn't doing that last year, taking a lot of bad sacks. Can we get Caleb in the playoffs with a takeaway? I think probably. 49ers to me are actually one of the matchups that I'm not too big on, you know, and I've said that. I know yesterday I said I'll take them. I'll take any of them. I mean, seriously, let's be real. I'll take any of these guys. But if I got a chance to pick, I mean, 49ers and Rams are two offenses that will probably understand what not to do versus the Eagles. You can't turn the ball over versus this team. Do not turn the ball over versus the Eagles. If you do, you're fucked. I mean, look at Josh Allen. He fumbled. If he didn't make that fumble, and when we don't get that short field where we can go and score, we might not win that game versus the Bills. Packers, I don't fear at all. I think Packers are the best matchup in the wild card. Right, JB3. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. It's exactly how I see it. So I'd love to play the Seahawks. Now that I learned the Seahawks can't get the 6 seed, I'm upset because the Rams lost last night. So I'm telling you, last night, I think we needed to root for the Rams, actually. Right? Yeah. Yeah, last night we wanted the Rams to win. Yeah, Matt. I mean, Darnold at the link. Are you kidding me? You know what, dude? Everybody talks about Seahawks Stadium and all that bullshit. I don't give a rat's ass about that stadium. I don't care. Give me the Seahawks anywhere. I don't give a rat's ass. Nah, HKP. I think if we don't get the Rams, I think the Rams might get bounced by someone else. Like the playoff picture right now. Wild card. Let's just go off of it right now. Wild card would be Bears versus Packers. Bears would win that game. At least I think they would. Eagles versus Rams. That's a tough one. And then 49ers versus probably, let's just say, the Panthers. All right, so the 49ers will win. Let's say the Eagles win and the Bears win. So you got the Seahawks, Bears, Eagles, and 49ers left. We would play 49ers in round 2, right? Boy, I tell you what. Who do you guys want to win the game for the 1 seed? Rams or no, not Rams. 49ers or Seahawks? Who do you think you want to win the game for the 1 seed? Boy, if we get the 2 seed, man. If we get the 2 seed, we're going to be in such a good position. If we get the 2 seed, we're going to be in such a good spot. You guys want 49ers to win? Yeah, me too. Me too. Although 49ers at home getting the 1 seed in the playoff, I mean, you know, you could maybe argue that you want. Well, no, because then we'd get 49ers round 1. See, this is why we need the 2 seed, folks. If we get the 2 seed, so if we get the 2 seed, I want the Seahawks to win. If we get the 3 seed, I want the Niners to win. Does that make sense? 2 seed, agreed, Gary. If you get the 2 seed, man, we're in a good spot. And I agree, Travis. I think the Bears could lose on Sunday. Damn, my back pain's coming back, man. Went away for a couple days. Oh, fuck. Oh, shoot, man. Back is killing me. Hot. I agree, man. That 2 would be huge for the Birds. 2 would be huge for the Birds. All right, everybody. You guys got any plans for the New Year? New Year's Eve tomorrow night? I'm not a drinking man, so I don't drink or anything like that. Lumbar support. What is that, bro? Sounds like something I could use if it's back support. Lumbar support. Yeah, I have one. I mean, I guess I don't have an extra one. My back hurts every day. I hope not mine. Sounds like a pinched nerve. But yo, Eduardo, that actually could be it. It's definitely not like my spine or anything. It's nowhere near my spine. It's actually like in my muscle area. Like down over here. I don't know. It's like down here. It's on the side over here. Oh, gosh, it's killing me. The bad part is it goes all the way down. It goes all the way down to my hips. Oh, it's killing me. Zander, who do you like in the college play? I think I like Bama in this round for sure. I think Ohio State is pretty good, but they got a tough matchup. Miami's going to play them strong. And the Miami offense is a major problem, though. The Miami offense doesn't do shit. The Stranger Things finale and smoking a lot of pot. I got to work New Year's Day. Just be safe out there, Deshae, all right? I've never seen an episode of Stranger Things in my life. I told you, I don't watch TV. Like, that's not my thing, really. If I'm watching TV, I'll watch a rerun of The Sopranos or Entourage. That's about it. All right? That's about it. I've been reading a lot recently. I like reading. I've always liked reading, but I've been reading more recently. I've been not reading as much the last couple of years because I work so much, but Stranger Things, I heard they went goofy at the end there. I heard they went woke. I heard they went wokey. Entourage is the best show ever, man. I love that show. Maybe I'll watch one of the goofy movies you guys have recommended me to watch. Maybe I'll do that. I've read that many times, HKP. Flying Mayan says, woke is back, baby. That's funny. You should read. I read that, bro. I read that long ago. Xander, ever since you went to that dentist, the Birds have been getting it done. Maybe a chiropractor visit for the play. Yeah, you're right. I got to go back to the dentist in February, I think. Fucking hate the dentist. The dentist is really as bad as you think it is. You know how some things you like think up in your head and people are like, oh, normally what you think in your head isn't, it's not going to be as bad. The dentist is as bad. It really is. I mean, you don't want to go because you think about people putting tools in your fucking mouth. And then you get there, and it's legitimately as bad as you dream up. I mean, you go back, open your mouth wide open for like 20 freaking minutes at a time. They got these metal tools that are like fucking in your head, oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. Sciatic nerve, Z, that's the pain. Is it? Sciatic nerve? Why does that sound serious? I see what you guys are saying. It doesn't go all the way down my leg. Yeah, he did. He got us all on. Xander. No, I'm good, JB3. I realize that some of you fucking noodles can't handle that. Yeah, this actually might be what it is. It's definitely not a disc or anything like that. See, get an x-ray. Oh, great. I can't wait to get that bill. Can't wait to get that bill. Lovely. Good. Thanks, everybody. Tell me I got structural back problems that I need to go and get something. Oh, good. I'm 27. This shit's not supposed to start yet. What the hell? See, Gary, thank you. This is what I tell myself. Pain, and I'm like, yeah, you're a bitch, Z. Shut the fuck up. That's what I tell myself. All right? That's what I tell myself. Shut the fuck up and quit complaining. All right? That's what I tell myself, Gary. Me and you see it the same way. Get these doctors in the chat, and they're like, you got a nerve. You got this. You got to go to PT. You got to go here. I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. That's funny. All right, guys. Good show. Good show. Yeah, medical coverage is brutal for entrepreneurs, but that's all right. I got it. I got it dealt with. It's expensive, but I got it dealt with. Deshay, no comment. No comment, Deshay. No denial, that's for sure. All right, man. Appreciate all you guys. Guys, I think there's a lot of reason to be optimistic on this team. And I know. Ready? Here come all the Zander's back on the Eagle Glazers. Does anybody really look at teams across the NFL right now and say, oh, yeah, guaranteed. Oh, nah, Eagles can't beat that team. Eagles can't beat that team. Eagles can't beat that team. No. No. You know, I don't see that with one team. Not one team in the NFL. Not one team in the AFC. Not one team in the NFC. All right? So let's see what happens. All right? I think I feel pretty good, though, with the defense playing like they are. Need Jalen to make those couple plays a game. And I think he will do that. You know, he made a couple plays in that Bills game that ultimately didn't go our way. But so let's see what happens. All right. Love all you guys. Appreciate all the support as always. Hit the like button and send up an extra prayer for your boy Big Z that I don't have some, what was it called? The sciatica nerve or some shit. Pray that that's not my issue. All right. Love all you guys. See you next time, everybody.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.